He's hear me. Let me see. Right, my avatar. Hold on. Right, we seem to have an issue with me mic. I don't think anybody could hear me there. So my mic is broke. So we have to go. I can't believe this, man. Right, so we'll go anyway. I will continue. Anyway, I've sent out emails to the usual suspects. If you haven't gotten an email, just let me know in the chat if you want to come on and discuss the latest special. If you wanna, it was fucking special anyway. I can tell you that. But we're going to get into it because I've had time to think and process what I watched, and let's just say it's still not great. Anybody that liked this, fair play. I don't know how you did. Your taste must be gone out the window, or you've just let your standards go so low that you'll accept pretty much anything that RTD throws at you. But let's just say this is an absolute disaster. The overnights now, they've actually changed it now. The Doctor Who TV site that does the ratings has decided now to get rid of consolidated figures now and call them the 7-day plus figures, because there's been this talk of them fudging the figures for the giggle, and it seems like now they're all on board. They're all jumping on board with it now. They're trying to show that this show apparently is popular. Well, let me tell you how popular this was. The top 10 shows that were shown on Disney Plus over Christmas did not include Doctor Who. Right? Did not include Doctor Who. The top 10 TV shows that were shown over the Christmas on Disney Plus did not feature, apparently, Doctor Who, which according to RTD and many others is doing very, very well. It's clear to see which direction this show is going in. Again, I want to make it clear I have no problem with Shooty. I thought Shooty was decent. Millie, jury is still out, but I have to say she wasn't too bad. She was a bit of a chatterbox at the start, but she did tone it down a bit. But I don't think I'm going to really like her as a companion, if I'm quite honest with you. She just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I thought it's, with the others, you believe that they were that character. With Millie, I don't believe she's Ruby Sunday or whatever the fuck her name is. Right? It just feels like an actress playing a part, in fairness. Whereas Shooty, I believed he was the Doctor. Now, I know some people out there don't think he should be the Doctor. That's your opinion. I won't go and call you racist like everybody else has. I know why some of you have the reasons and the opinions that you have, but I certainly have no issue on his casting, and I thought he was pretty decent. But again, the big letdown for me was RTD and his writing. And we're going to have to sit down and discuss RTD and his writing, because this clown is in charge of the show at least for another 5 years. And this cannot be the standard that we get over the next 5 years, because if it is, well, we have to watch the show being dragged through the mud anyway, because the Disney Plus deal basically confirms that this show will be on air at least for 5 years. That doesn't necessarily mean we get 5 seasons, but we're definitely getting 5 years of Disney Doctor Who. Now, it's also being revealed that the scene where they were getting into the taxi was added in later at Disney's request, because according to them, the Doctor could have been introduced a lot sooner in the episode. But that is bullshit. The only reason why the scene was included because you had the trans singer that was in the nightclub, and they just wanted to show that Ruby had a trans friend in the taxi. That's it, right? And that's your, by the way, to all the people that have been having a go at me because they think I have a problem with trans characters. Again, if you're happy with the little tiny piece of dialogue that trans character got, well then good on you. But to me, it's tokenism. And that's all he's going to do here. I mean, he respects the trans community so much that he gave one pronouns, right? Okay? So that's how much he respects. He doesn't respect us, right? He's all mouth, just like all of the other writers out there. They're all mouth. He doesn't support the trans community. He doesn't give two fucks about the trans community, but he wants to get those brownie points. Anyway, I'm giving this episode a 0 out of 10. I can't even give any points for Shooty's acting or Millie's acting, for the simple fact of the matter is the writing's so dire that you can't really judge fairly. I will say that I do think Shooty would make a good Doctor, but under this complete asshole of a writer, it's never going to happen. So I'll tell you out straight now, I'm not rating this episode. I'm giving it a big fat 0. It's not even worth rating, in my opinion. If that's Doctor Who in 2023, well, they can have it. They can have it. But I'll do everything in my power to call it out and hopefully get it cancelled. And that's what I'll be calling for fans to do, to boycott and cancel this show. Has to happen. Something has to happen now, or you're going to have to put up with this for 5 years. Right? This is not Doctor Who on any level. And anybody that says it is, well, then you haven't been watching the same show we've been watching. That is not Doctor Who, right? And the two of them just breaking out in a song. I mean, I thought the song was cringy itself, but when them two fucking idiots start piping up and singing, yeah, totally gone, right? The Doctor now dances in nightclubs now and strips off half naked. That's our Doctor now, right? And he's going to be gay, by the way. For anybody that's under any illusion, this Doctor is going to be a gay Doctor, right? It's going to be written that way, okay? And the Doctor ain't gay, and you can call me homophobic all you want. I'm not homophobic. The Doctor isn't gay, right? The Doctor had a family, right? And if you want to disregard that because in 2023 you want to destroy the family unit, well, you can go and have those thoughts and feelings. But people like me respect family, respect fucking traditions. All right, and Doctor Who is a family TV show, and this gender nonsense has no business in Doctor Who. So I'm not giving it a rating because it ain't Doctor fucking Who. It's as simple as that, right? It's a pile of fucking trash with the name Doctor Who. That's it, right? That's it. Poor fucking Shooty. Poor fucking Shooty. I actually like him. I think he'll make a great fucking Doctor. But you know what? He's going to be let down because RTD is going to do what Chibs did, right? He's going to use poor Shooty's tokenism. I'm going to tick a few fucking boxes and I'm going to use you to fucking do it to show that I'm not fucking racist, right? I don't know what's happened to RTD, but it's like as if he got a personality transplant when he went to America and he came back a fucking dickhead, right? And he's going around still being a nasty piece of shit to fans, right? He's still going around being nasty to fans. Listen up, fuckface, right? Listen and listen very fucking carefully. You continue to go down this route, this show is gone, right? It's gone. You're not going to have the support, right? Yes, it went up by, what was it? I think 900,000 extra watched or something. So it didn't get the fall, but apparently that's a success, right? It's a Christmas special. First, they tried to justify the 60th anniversary having low ratings. Oh, but it's not a Christmas special. So what's the excuse this time? What's the excuse this time? Because the Christmas special didn't do as well as other Christmas fucking specials. Actually, it's the lowest rated Christmas special of all time. And then I keep getting this, oh, TV habits have changed. A lazy fucking excuse. TV habits have changed, but yeah, the ratings all take that into consideration, which are 7-day, which are +4, which are AI. So don't be giving me your bullshit. TV habits have changed, right? The bottom line is Doctor Who is not being written like Doctor Who. And the audiences are turning off because they don't want to see chicks with dicks singing fucking songs on their show, right? The bottom line is this is not a fucking biology fucking class, right? It's a fucking sci-fi show for family, right? For family, right? And I think it's sick and twisted that there are people out there that want to fucking indoctrinate our kids with this fucking rubbish, right? And RTD, you ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself, right? Corrupting and confusing fucking kids even more than they are, right? And adults like you who are supposed to protect children are telling them, oh no, you could be born in the wrong body. Bullshit! Anyway, I'm not alone. I've got my panel with me, as usual. But before we bring them all in to have their opinion on this shit show, let's see who's in the chat. So we got Nicholas Horton, we got Queen Charlotte, we got Michael as well in the chat. We'll get a few trolls as well because they've been trolling me today. So if you see Annie, just say hello and wish them a Merry Christmas and just leave at that. We got Philip in the chat as well. We got Cyber Matt Strikes, David Gale, Nicholas Horton, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Peter Triplet. He says he doesn't know what I'm talking about. Raymond Williams, he says I'm stupid. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can have that opinion. You can call me stupid all you want, but you put me in a room full of lefty twats and I'm the most intelligent man in the fucking room. So go and cry somewhere else. If you don't like what I have to say, don't be coming in here and leaving your comments. Go and fuck off somewhere else, right? That's the problem with fucking society, right? People have a different opinion to others and you get all offended. Well, I didn't ask you to fucking tune in, did I? No, I fucking didn't. Sure, I didn't. So fuck off. Right? I'm not fucking playing around anymore. We got Shane in the chat as well. We got Golden Nuggets. Robert Payne, James Dawson. They'll push Fories next. Yes, they will push Fories next. They will. And they'll say that being what is it now? You can't use the word P, that word, because you know it's offensive to them. You know, it's an adult that's attracted to children, right? They'll fucking try and fucking justify that as well and normalize that shit as well, right? This ain't Dr. fucking Who. And anybody that says any different is wrong. And they are wrong. Don't care what anybody says. Obviously, Mrs. doesn't agree with me. She loved it, which is fair enough. But we just don't talk about it with each other. But, you know, I have to disagree. I think it's a load of bollocks. Anyway, remember, you can't say the P word because it's offensive now, golden nuggets. So it's, you know, it's what's a minor attractive person or whatever, maps or whatever they call them. And they openly do it in their books as well, like, you know. Anyway, let's bring on my panel. And as I said, if there are any more people that want to come on to give their opinion, let me know. I'll send you an email. If not, I'll just put the link in the chat. But you've got to come on camera so I know you're a real person behind the backstage, so I can see that you're a real person and not someone trying to have me channel taken down like we've had in the past. But anyway, let's bring on our guests. And I just thought I heard someone beep in there again, but maybe not. Let's do this. Right. So let's bring them on. First of all, we've got royalty on the channel as usual. Not the king, because he's an environmental WEF muppet. We've got the queen. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we don't do Charles the Muppet. Anyway, PD Rich is with us as well.
Told you so.
And we've also got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, cinnamon.
Say, Merry Christmas, one and all.
You too, buddy.
Anyway, you've heard my opinion. I haven't held back. So we'll start with you, Queen Charlotte. Obviously, Christmas Day was well for Doctor Who fans. Let's be honest, we were, even though, you know, we've had our issues with Doctor Who under RTD right now. A lot of us were kind of excited and looking forward to the Christmas special, because, you know, Doctor Who and Christmas are both intertwined, and it's been a long time since we got a Christmas special. First of all, I have to ask you, where would you actually rate this Christmas special in comparison to the other Christmas specials that we've had over the years? Where would this rate?
Oh, that's hard. I'm trying to just gauge in my head now. Compared to the others, I would probably say, to me, mid-tier. Like, there's been far better ones. But I really couldn't watch some of the Capaldi stuff near the end of his run. So honestly, if it's a comparison, I'd say this would be mid-tier for me.
I have to say, yeah, I mean, the Capaldi ones are a bit all over the place, but they're still enjoyable. I mean, there's a real super Doctor Grant. But what did you think of the church on Ruby Road? The church on Ruby Road. Stupid name. Anyway,
I have to be honest, there was bits I really enjoyed in this. But because for me, I quite liked the what we saw of Shooty's Doctor here. For me, he's coming across as a Doctor that sort of all the I'm trying to word it, like all the back sort of anger and all the back hurt and all the sort of baggage, that's the word, all the baggage that New Who Doctors have had because of Time War.
Yep.
And because of all the stuff that the Doctors experienced, it feels like to me this is a Doctor that's finally sort of shook that off. And we have a Doctor that's a bit more open again, that's actually a bit more wanting to go out and enjoy life and adventure again.
Yeah, but he's also an emotional Doctor. He's fucking crying now.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to say. But then that's what I think it's part of it. It's him, the Doctor before, was very sort of kept their emotions close to the chest. And like Shooty, to me, is very clearly, I agree with you, it's very heart on sleeve, showing his emotions, not being scared of that. And I actually think that's a nice change for me personally, because I feel like a lot of the New Who Doctors we had that same sort of repeating theme at times of can't show emotions. And I think we needed something a bit different. And Shooty, to me, was that in this episode. I can understand fully why it would get on some people's nerves. Fully understand it. But for me, there was so many scenes with him that I just thought, oh, he's got so much charisma. He's a proper like heroic doctor. The fact that he was running about and saving people and actually showing his intelligence at times.
Yeah, but there's a flip side, and someone brought this up, and this is a very important point, though. Like, what kind of doctor is he going to be, right? So he's got the emotional part down. But then when it came to the Goblin King, he had no problem with just killing the Goblin King without even giving them a chance, like every other doctor does, give them a chance to back off or to leave. But he just killed the Goblin King straight out, like he
did, didn't he?
And then the writing was so bad there because the gloves. He makes such a big deal about the gloves taking his weight and all of that, right? And then when he's pulling the ship down, sure, he's making facial expressions as if he's struggling, whereas he shouldn't have been struggling because the gloves took the weight off the ship. So when he was pulling it down, so again, there's little things. Maybe I'm being picky and stuff like that, but this is the problem with Doctor Who. I think we've allowed the standards to drop so much that if RTD writes something like that, he just expects us to accept it. But there's no,
there was stuff in the script. He was making out that they were basically losing power almost, is what I got from it. Like they could only have so many charges almost, and this was the last charge.
3%.
And that he was before. He didn't have to physically pull a whole ship down. This was very much a bigger task he had to do.
He did jump off a wall or whatever it was.
Yeah, but compared that to pulling down a massive looking ship, that's what I mean. I think what I honestly think's happened here, and why I think some people are like you, Noel, and some people like me who quite enjoyed it, is what Russell sort of said before. This was fantasy. There was no escaping that. This was very much whimsy, fantasy, magic. Like those sort of themes were in this special. And if you don't like that, it's going to put you off at the end of the day. But for me, I think the reason why it worked for me is honestly the priority that I needed in this special was to see a Doctor, beginning of a Doctor again. I think it's too early to say for Shooty yet. He needs some more episodes. I needed to see a Doctor companion dynamic again, which I could buy. And I just wanted a bit of, like, it's Christmas special. I wanted a bit of joy. I wanted a bit of that stuff.
Yeah, but then he does a scene, right? He does a scene with Ruby's mother, right? Where Ruby's erased from time, right? So we show her she's all heartwarming and lovely and stuff like that, and cares about the little babies that she's taking in and adopting or fostering, right? But then when Ruby is erased from time, she's a cold-hearted woman who hates kids and only takes the kids because it's £800 a head. Even Shooty's doctor goes, "Oh, don't say that," right? I mean, what kind of message is RTD trying to send there, though? I mean, how would she go? I mean, to kind of correlate that, to kind of make that link that, well, if she didn't adopt, if Ruby didn't exist, she'd be a horrible human being, basically. And she's only taking the babies because it's £800 a head, right? And she only does it because, and her whole attitude, that whole dialogue myself. I mean, if I was adopted or whatever, and I was watching that, I'd be fucking disgusted. What kind of message was he sending there? See, this is the thing about it. There were good elements. You're right. Absolutely, there were good elements. But it was overshadowed by all the shit that he did, in my opinion. He undone his good work. He undone it. And this whole new, it's new signs with the ropes and all of this. I'm sorry, but that was just a piss poor explanation. I mean, and then he's talking about, they're talking about air shafts in a ship that's made out of wood. Like, that's airy anyway. I mean, it's just the level of writing. Listen, look, bottom line is this, right? We've known this. This show is not written for fans like us that like intelligent writing. This is being dumbed down for the masses, and that's what you got Christmas Day. You got a dumbed down version of the show that we grew up with, right? Even the sciencey stuff that he tried to do in it didn't make any logical sense, right? When Moffat has done it in the past, and when RTD has done it in the past, it's made sense. None of this made sense. None of this made sense. What was the motivation of the Goblin King and the goblins anyway? So they like to eat children, but how did that all start?
Well, that's just
where did they come from? You know what I mean? Again, none of this was explained.
Well, I think it was basically what it was getting at. It was they were right on the wave of time, or they bimble, and they thrive off chance.
And also, he did say that basically their way of science is unique to them. So instead of using tech and things like that, they would use rope. So there was things in there that did sort of start to explain a bit how they worked.
That's a good point by Raymond there, though. Why these particular babies? Wouldn't any baby do? They can time travel and get a baby from the past. How many orphanages?
They were born the same day. That was why.
Yeah, there was because there was not consequences. There was coincidences.
That's why the doctor was surprised when he said when you said it was her birthday. It kind of looked like, what, really?
And she had she had a couple of weeks before to basically get her to be prime for the baby to get kidnapped. He said you've been sort of weaved in for a couple of weeks.
They went back in time. That's why the accidents kept happening.
See, for me, I think there was actually explanations, and I think.
Well, then, if there were, right, I must have missed them, and they must have been very bad, because I'm sitting here and I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck what message he was trying to give us on Christmas, because that's the whole point of these Christmas specials. It was about families. Well, I tell you, he had a very strange fucking way of putting it across. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, man, I'm sorry. Even I go back to Ruby's adopted mother. I mean, that whole say, yes, the lovely family, but then when Ruby disappears, then they're horrible people. And how did he get that correlation? How did he? You know what I mean? Where did he get to that point? Because you're tick. Peter, listen, mate. You wouldn't have the guts to say that to me face. So I suggest you go and fuck yourself. All right. As I said, if you do not like what I have to fucking say, get the fuck out of here, right? Because I don't want to be listening to some little fucking troll, right? Unless you've got something to add to the conversation or to come back with counterpoints, right? Then shut the fuck up, right? Simple as that, right? I'm not playing around with any of you fuckers anymore. You got a problem, I have to say, don't fucking watch, right? Don't fucking watch, right? We wouldn't even be having these arguments or these fucking discussions if Doctor Who was written fucking properly. I'd be sitting here celebrating the fact that Doctor Who came back triumphantly, right? But it didn't. And again, I do believe that people are lowering their standards because the standard has been lowered over the last couple of years. It's not good enough for me. And little bits here and there is not good enough. It's as simple as that. He has to do better than little bits. Right? Okay? And even some of the cast members that he brought in, right? They're just there to tick fucking boxes. Right? Given hardly any fucking dialogue. Right? But just add it in and make a big deal about that trans singer that you brought in, and then you give them a few minutes to sing a song, and then there's a little tiny bit of dialogue in the car, and that's it. And you're supposed to accept that. That's your character development right there. So what we know about the trans singer is what? Friends with Ruby is a singer. What else? Nothing, because we weren't given to see this character a lot more. It was the same with Rose.
Well, she was just an NPC, really, wasn't she?
As well, right? How much character development did Rose actually get? They didn't get very much character development either. The character development is shabby, and this is why I'm giving out about it. I don't give a shit, as I said. If you want to have trans characters in Doctor Who, fine. But develop them. Give them fucking dialogue. Make them worthy and part of the fucking story, not just a side fucking show to tick fucking boxes. It's as simple as that.
I think what he tried to do a bit here, I was getting sort of not the same but Rose vibes, which was, this is Ruby's clear story, this is the clear introduction to Ruby. But the difference was with Rose, if you to do the comparison, we really only had Rose and the Doctor. There was Jackie, that was about it. Like, there was hardly any side characters, so you could really concentrate on those two core characters. And I think here he wanted to have more side characters, but because of him wanting to do like a Rose again almost, it didn't quite work, because you either should have gone with the straight, this is Ruby's story meeting the Doctor, or did you want to have the family or Anita Dobson, who was also one who really got nothing to do in the whole story. So he really could have done, but he should have picked which one. I think this was a little bit of having his cake and eat it, if I'm being honest, with this story. Because, yeah, there was quite a few characters that were sort of there and you blinked and you missed it. Like, did we need Davina McCall? No. Like, she was just there to do the adoptive stuff, which she could have done in dialogue.
Which I get, because she's done that show. She's done that show that I used to actually watch, where she goes and finds family members. So I can get why she was in it. And then people saying, which I thought was actually a stupid comment to make, when people says, oh, the Doctor went back and saved Davina McCall. Yeah, because she was playing herself, and the real Davina McCall isn't dead. So you couldn't have her dead in Doctor fucking Who. Like, just some people are just...
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, that time with her could have been spent on other stuff. Like, I'm not denying that was there. But like I said, I'm probably going to be the lone voice here. I've got a feeling tonight, but
no.
I quite enjoyed it. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I've lowered my standard at all. I think what I wanted for a starting point, I got. Obviously, if this is the level it stays at, then we've got issues. Then we definitely need to step up from here. We need to have more development. We need to flesh out Shooty's Doctor more and Millie more.
I get that, but he's had 4 specials. And in the 4 specials, can you honestly say that he's going to improve on his writing? Seriously?
Well, no, we don't know about the series yet.
That he's going to course correct and he's going to do right by the show when it comes back. Or he's going to improve character development and improve his stories. Even after the 4 specials that we've had. That's what I mean. How many times... This is all the point I'm trying to make. How many times does RTD have to let everybody down with shabby writing before they realise that it's shabby writing?
Well, it's all about threshold, isn't it? Because there's different pain tolerances for people.
To realise that he's actually a hack and he doesn't have
exactly.
interest to hack.
Because I think, like at their threshold, because I think me and Charlotte have potentially seen more qualities to like than perhaps maybe you. So I guess it's a really subjective thing.
Yeah, that's what it is, honestly. I think what it is, like, for some people, I can understand completely, like, the singing and the goblins, and like I said, the clear fantasy focus here. There's no getting away from that, and I can completely understand. But I've said this on Type 40, Doctor Who, at its best, can actually do one type of story one week and then do a completely different story the next week.
Yeah.
Here... he set out his story. It's fantasy, it's Christmas, it's a bit of fluff. It's not so much of the serious, it's the special. But so in the series, if he doesn't show, he can tell different stories, different types, different characters. If Shooty's Doctor doesn't develop, if Millie doesn't develop, then yeah. But you got to give him a couple of episodes in a series to see. And then you can say fully, because the specials, more than anything now, feel so removed from what we got on Christmas.
Yeah.
For me, there's no connective tissue whatsoever between Church of Ruby Road and the specials.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually when I was watching.
So this feels like this is a start again. and you have to treat it as a new start like you did in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only reason why there's a new start is because the previous era failed because of the exact same things that RTD is doing. So it doesn't matter if you refresh the show. If you're making the same mistakes as the former showrunner, then you're not going to get anywhere.
But for me, he was doing stuff like we've all said Jodie's doctor failed because Chibnall did nothing with her. Like, she literally just stayed in the same spot. She didn't change. She had the same tendencies. Nothing affected her. And naturally here, we saw Shooty actually having little moments of a little bit of a change in him this early on. That scene at the end when he sort of looks and goes, oh, am I the bad look? And the fact that even this early on, he's sort of questioning a bit. And he's actually reacting to, well, as soon as I met Ruby, all this stuff happened to her. And her previous doctors, they would be a lot more sort of, oh, no, it'll be fine, I'll go and offer to go on adventures and like see the world and that sort of vibe. And Shooty wasn't like that. So, you know, for me, I'm not denying Russell has got his tendencies in him. We saw that in bits of the specials and bits of his interviews. I'm not denying that. But actually, I saw little bits of something a bit different in Shooty and a little bit of something that maybe could get developed more. And I never saw that with Jodie's doctor. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shooty has been the highlight for me with the special. Got to be honest, him and your one Mrs. Flood, who I called the explainer because people wanted to know who she was. Well, I'll tell you who she is. She's the one that RTD is going to use to explain everything that's happening to you on screen because, as I said, RTD seems to be incapable of putting these story threads together. The biggest criticism of the 50th anniversary, or the 60th, the Christmas special, has been the writing in some quarters of the media as well. They've actually agreed that his writing is not great, and this is what's going to let Shooty down. I think Shooty will be a fantastic doctor. I really do. I actually like him. He was the highlight, as I said, for me. I do like Millie as well, but she needs. But in fairness, you know, if Ruby is going to be the mouth that I think she's going to be, well, then she's going to do me head in, to be quite honest. And I'm not going to really warm to her as a companion. But Shooty's doctor, yeah, I think there is something about him. I think he does add the charisma, as you said. You are right. You are seeing something different with this doctor. Do I necessarily like it? Not really. I don't like the doctor over emotional. That the Tennant's doctor did it a couple of times. Smith's doctor did it a couple of times. But if Shooty's doctor
did it all the time,
an emotional doctor, I don't think that's going to work. To be quite honest with you, the doctor has to have some form of, you know, where he doesn't get emotional. He has to take that step back. You know, because that's why, you know, the doctor makes the decisions that he makes, because he leaves emotion out of it. Now, if you're going to have a doctor that's going to be completely the opposite of that and get emotional, well, then his emotions are going to affect the decisions that he makes further down the line. So, the mammy went to shoppies, did she? And you're looking for food? Yes, Cheryl went to the shop to get some food, so Teddy is... I
guess they could really play it similar to the Fifth Doctor, because he was quite indecisive and quite prone to panicking, because he wasn't as like confident. Like if you were to judge the Fifth Doctor in comparison to the four that came before, you would think he's a bit feeble. You think, well, you know, can he save us? Can he do it? Can he get us out of this? And obviously, eventually, he would always find a way. But you look at it, comparing to Tom. You see he's a bit more emotional or more compassionate or more human, I guess.
Yeah, and I have no problem with him being more compassionate, right, and stuff like that. But he didn't show any compassion towards the sea. Again, it's mixed signals from RTD. This is why I keep bringing it up. You know, the Doctor always gave, even in the Fires of Pompeii, he gave them a chance. He gives them a chance, right? The Arachnos Queen gave her a chance as well, right? But this Doctor didn't give Goblin King a chance.
Yeah, well, again, they did go away, didn't they? And he give when they finished singing and dancing, they ran off, and then that was it. They could have left, and he thought they left, but then they went back, and then he noticed something was wrong when she went missing.
Then if he actually thought that they were left, then that shows that this doctor is going to be naive.
So yeah, but so when they came back,
Yeah.
perhaps he thought, well, I won't be able to climb the ladders in time. And again, was he intending to actually kill him? Did he know that church point was going to go right through him?
He pulled the ship down. Of course he did. He pulled the ship down on the bell tower. He knew exactly what he was doing. He murdered the Goblin King.
Maybe not to kill him.
He didn't even give the Goblin King a chance to fuck out. And look at Matt Smith, how he handled in the 11th hour, right? When he called them back and basically run, sent them a warning. That's what Shooty's doctor should have done.
He did it to save Ruby. If you compare that to what Matt did, everybody was safe and nobody was in danger. Then he could say run, because he was calling them back as that warning. The baby was literally about to get eaten. So it was like, I need to do this at this moment so the baby doesn't get eaten or doesn't get killed.
Yeah.
But when he broke into song, they stopped. So why didn't he then, after he finished breaking into song, say, right, this is your last and final warning. You either leave or you will suffer the consequences. But instead, he didn't do that. He decided that there and then he was going to kill the Goblin King no matter what. Right? And he killed the Goblin King. And he pulled that ship down on top of the bell tower deliberately, because he knew the bell tower would then penetrate the Goblin King and kill the Goblin King.
Penetrate the ship.
The murders.
So, I mean, if you're okay with the doctor killing in cold blood now and not giving people it, that's fine. I just don't think it's a trait of the doctor. The doctor has always given his enemies a chance.
Yeah.
To redeem themselves.
Yeah, but not a direct threat of a companion.
That's what I'm saying. And also, he has killed plenty of villains and aliens when he thinks there's a threat there. When that's the better option, basically.
Yeah, when he's had no choice.
Burst of killing.
Yeah, when he's had no choice, he had plenty of choice here.
Did he?
Yeah, of course he did.
Well, the baby was on that conveyor belt about to get eaten. It was right at the bottom of the ladder.
The conveyor belt stopped and the baby was safe. So,
yeah, but he wasn't. He was at the ship at that time. He was climbing the ladder. There's no way he could have got there in time.
There's no way he could have got in the ship. There's no way he could have got in that ship. No.
It was now or never. That's how I
one way he could have got in that ship. He could have went in the TARDIS.
Well, yeah, there is that. So you could say that. I'll give you that. That is correct. But this is, we've got to judge it on how Russell's wrote it. Yeah. And he's wrote it in that way. And I like, and as well the gloves as well. Again, just a bit messy. I mean, look. I mean, this is not the strongest of scripts. I know it's getting under me a bit, but I think I compared this to, like, as a story. I compared this to New Earth. It's kind of that level. There was a lot of it. I was able to enjoy. Yeah. I was able to enjoy, but I think this wasn't. I think even my first initial reactions, I given myself a day to think about it. It wasn't the best. I think I preferred the 60th, to be honest, if I'm really being honest. But there was a lot of it I liked.
Was better.
Say again?
I thought the giggle was better.
Yeah, again, I thought like Wild Blue. I thought it was better than Star Beast, but I thought Wild Blue Yonder and the giggle was better, to be honest. Again, Shooty I thought was fantastic. He's the doctor for me as well.
Shooty's brilliant.
Millie was fine as well, I think. I think that's the first thing. I think it's the first one they did together. Because normally how they do it, isn't it? Like they'll film. Actually, I think it might have been. Because normally, traditionally, how they film it is like they'll do an episode, like a couple of episodes in. So so by the time, because obviously the first story will be the first one you watch, so you want them more comfortable in the role. Like I think Castrovalva was the fourth one I filmed for the Fifth Doctor or something.
Yeah, Matt did the Angel two-parter filmed.
And I think this. Well, I think I filmed something from series 4, episode 4. But I think this, as a story, this is one of the first ones they did. So I thought Millie was all right. Maybe she'll get better. She's young, and I imagine she'll grow into her role. I remember Catherine Tate wasn't very well liked when she was first came in. They toned her down, didn't they?
That's a perfect comment there, right there from Cyber Matt Strikes. Shooty elevates ordinary material, but he shouldn't be just elevating ordinary material. We don't want another Peter Capaldi on our hands, where we know we've gotten a great actor, but he's been let down by shoddy writing.
Especially in season 8, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That's the issue I have here. I've no problem with Shooty. I think Shooty will be a terrific Doctor, but he's going to be let down. We've had 4 specials, right? And in the 4 specials, if we were to compare to the stuff that he wrote in 2005 onwards, none of it that he's wrote this year has been better than what he wrote back in 2005. And that's the problem I have. The quality of the show has dipped over the years, and now we're just accepting mediocrity, and that's what it is. This is badly written. It's badly written, and now we're finding out that Disney Plus is sticking their nose in, and they're adding scenes now, because apparently the Doctor's introduction was going to be a lot later than what it was actually in the episode itself. But then Disney said, no, we want you to introduce the Doctor a little bit sooner, so we want you to film another scene. And that was the scene that we got with the goblins trying to pull down the Santa that was up on the roof while Ruby was in the taxi with our friends, right? That extra scene, that scene with the copper, was an extra scene that was written in to introduce the Doctor.
Yeah, because that was filmed quite recently, wasn't it? I literally remember, was it a couple of months ago, seeing him in that kilt walking down the street?
Yeah.
I remember that. So that was literally done not that long ago, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can believe that.
So they're even adding, and this is the problem I have now. This whole thing that Disney Plus don't have any influence was a bullshit lie that they told us from the very beginning. They do have influence. And if you watch it on Disney Plus, by the way, it says New Who, New Generation, or whatever the fuck tagline is, right? It's made for Disney Plus. This isn't our Doctor Who. It's Disney Plus Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are in charge. RTD is writing, and he'll follow the brief that they give him, because obviously he was given all of that money. But at the same time as well, he's obviously on board with most of it. So he has no issue with it. He has no issue with it. But that's so true. People are now willing to accept. I look, it's just my personal opinion. If you liked it, fair enough. But that's not Doctor Who standard.
I think Robert Payne makes a good point as well about the clockwork man that got killed in Capaldi's first episode.
It's better than Rose. It's not better than The End of the World. It's not better than Dalek. It's not better than anything he's written in 2005. Absolutely not.
Didn't write Dalek, Chairman.
Right? Well, he didn't write it, but I mean, compared to his era, the stuff that's in his era, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's definitely not up to the RTD standard that we know that he can do. Right?
That's why I compare it to the work, because I don't think that's a pretty
into Glee or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something like that, right? This isn't a fucking teeny bop show, right? So stop trying to make it one, right? It's a sci-fi fucking show, an intelligent show, by the way, right? It shouldn't be dumbed down for the masses, but it is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not accepting that as Doctor Who. It's not Doctor Who, right? It's not Doctor Who. It shouldn't be called Doctor Who. It's as simple as that. Call it fucking something else. Get rid of the TARDIS. Get everything out of it that makes it Doctor Who and call it something fucking else. This ain't Doctor Who. Never will be accepted as Doctor Who. Right? And the audience has proven that. The Christmas special should have done a lot better than what it did. It didn't. Right? It didn't even get into the top 10 Disney Plus shows over the Christmas. It didn't even make the top 10. I'd be surprised if it even made the top fucking 50. It's that bad. And remember, Disney is now in 68.
Didn't the King's Speech get higher?
Oh yeah, it came top in the BBC rating.
Peter says no, get a better mic. Peter, I did say at the start, I know I gave out to you earlier, but you're actually being nice there. But I did actually say I broke my mic before I came on. It fell last night, and I think I'm at actually damaging the mic. But I'll give it a go, because I know the mic on this computer is not the greatest. So I'm gonna plug it in. Let me know.
Yeah, you'll have the right.
Let me know if you can hear me, but I doubt it very much. But here we go. We'll give it a go.
Shane says, "Will RTD have other writers?"
Yes.
They've not been confirmed from what
He
I
has.
know. Or has he confirmed them?
Couple have been confirmed.
There's also 2 women from I think they're next
Two
season or
women, yeah,
this
that's the one.
Actually,
upcoming season.
he's hired a couple of new writers. One has actually done a show on trans issues. Listen, all the writers he's bringing in are activists as well. He's already announced some of the cast.
A couple of them are Disney as well.
What?
A couple of them are Disney as well. Disney
Yeah.
writers as well.
So-
Surprise, surprise, you know.
Look, this
He needs a
version of
protege,
Doctor
really.
Who is going to be
No,
political.
Stephen Moffat needed a protege, but he didn't bother, and that's why we're in this mess.
Because I worry about what about in 5 years? What about because Russell isn't going to be around forever? Because what about after he leaves? What then? Are they going to get somebody new in who's never been on? I feel like they need to get someone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say someone new, someone who's not connected with the show. I mean,
I know.
I know we're jumping ahead a bit, but like
this is why I thought J.M. Straczynski would be perfect. But then, oh no, we've got to be safe. We've got to be in-house, BBC, in-house. We've got fucking Russell Davies back. Could have taken it such a different. Could have had such a new direction, such a different direction with Joseph. But no, we have to have Russell back. We have to go for the safe option because we're the BBC. It has to be on the BBC payroll. Oh God!
I just hope they can get rid of this whole Child of Destiny. You know, start having these big, huge, life show-altering storylines. Like, can you just go back to like? That was kind of why I'm all right with the whole having him be free of the baggage from before. Like, get rid of all that crap and just let him let him be the Doctor. Let him have those adventures. Are you okay? Was this story a great one? Not really. No, I think it would have been better. But you know, just let him have this like adventure every week. Let him just be the Doctor and Ruby.
That's what I loved about Matt. It was back to just being Doctor Who again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you watch Series 5, all the stuff about the Time War is kind of like, when's that gone? It's definitely mentioned, I think, but like it's less.
Yeah.
Like he sort of like they do a thing about it in the 50th, and they're like, he's the one that forgets, and David's Doctor gets kind of annoyed at him for forgetting. Well, not that he forgets, but he kind of moves on in a way. I just want it to be like that. I want it to just go back to just a monster of the week. What's next episode is going to be like?
Yeah. But it won't be. It'll be pronoun of the week or trans identity person. Let's be fucking honest about it, right? You all need to stop codding yourselves here. Right? I'm serious. You all need to stop codding yourselves once and for all. Right? This ain't getting any better. It's not. No matter how hard you wish for it. Right? I even seen the trailer that they dropped, right? The Doctor and all is getting all flirty with some bloke. So we know where it's going. Right? We know where it's going. Right? So stop kidding yourselves. This is going to be the fucking wokest piece of shit.
No,
we've never seen it, and it's going to have the Doctor Who name on it. Right? Stop kidding yourselves, right? We've had 6 years.
This episode wasn't even working. I didn't even think this was a great one.
And he's worse than what fucking Chid's done in 6 fucking years. And you are all still thinking that this is going to get better. Or you are hoping that it does.
Calm down, okay? We knew this was going to happen. I've said it 100 times this was going to happen.
No, because it annoys me. It annoys me. No, I'm not going to stay calm anymore. This is the problem. Things will only change in the industry if you all wake the fuck up and say enough is enough.
It is changing slowly in the industry, Noel, but it's not going to happen overnight. I keep telling you this. It's a slow boycott. It's a slow
This has been going since... Hold on for a minute, though. This has been going since 2016, mate. What are you talking about?
I know it's going to be another couple of years until it gets phased out. It's getting phased out now because look at what's happened to Paramount and Warner Brothers. They're trying to merge because they're running out of money. They're so in debt. It's unbelievable.
And they still won't learn the lesson.
And you're seeing Disney have even... What is it? They've even come out with it.
Those are BBC. It's like, let's not,
Well, look, I'm glad you are all optimistic. Seriously, I am. I'm glad that you think that RTD...
PD isn't.
I've never been optimistic. What the bloody hell are you on about, Noel?
Seriously, man. Everybody needs to wake up. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just telling you out straight. You need to stop setting yourselves up for a fall again. Right? How many times do you have to be let down before you realise that this show... Look, they've made it clear. It's not for us anymore.
I know. That's why I left.
Right? So stop pretending that somehow, by some miracle, he might give you a bit here that's great and a bit there that's great. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I have been able to enjoy it. Whether
Yeah,
he wants me
same
to or
here,
not,
no.
regardless of what Russell wants, whether he wants me or not, it's what kind of like I know Jack kind of joked about it. Oh, he doesn't want you, but like I couldn't really care what Russell wants. So if I like what he's got, that's more on him. Like at the end of the day, these last four. I mean, this one again, it wasn't that great. It wasn't even that walk either. I mean, I know you're thinking about the trans scene, but it didn't focus on her. It was probably the least walk one, and I still didn't like it. It was literally, like I said, it was literally New Earth like levels. Like it wasn't the best story. But these four specials have been better than anything we've had in the past 5 years. So again, it's how you look at it.
And to me, honestly, I didn't see politics here. Like, I know about the friend in the club, and I know some people with some of the club stuff, but for me, and I thought this when I saw that scene in the trailer, I was like, I'll see how it actually plays in the episode.
Yeah.
Because it was more about he was watching her, he was seeing all these weird things happening around her, so he was in the club to watch her, and that scene of him dancing, for me, that was just an example of what I said about this doctor. He's more free, he's more out there, he's more sort of, I will do what I want and I don't care. That's for me what that was.
Which is great.
That's how it was written.
Written that way, and he's given the material to do it, but I don't believe he's going to. Simple as that. And people are telling me to take a chill pill. No, 6 years we've had of this. I'm not going to take a chill pill, right? It's done, right? This isn't Doctor Who. It's as simple as that, right? I'm not taking a chill pill. I'm watching a show that I grew up on me life, its legacy being ruined, and you're all saying take a chill fucking pill. How about everybody start fucking paying attention to what's fucking going on and calling RTD out for the charlatan that he fucking is?
I have been.
Right? He gets away with it, he does, and then he abuses fans on his fucking Instagram account. Right? And he said, and now making up his own narrative like a baby. Well, I tell you what then, you counterpoint me with that. What narrative am I making up? What narrative am I making up, Peter? Tell me, right? So, because you keep just such an angry snowflake. You keep calling me a snowflake. I tell you what, argue there now. What narrative am I making up? That it was the lowest rated Christmas special of all time. That it was full of agenda. The writing was shit. What narrative am I making up? Like seriously, what narrative am I making up? Because I'm not making up any narrative, right? We all saw what we saw Christmas Day, right? And the theme about eating babies on Christmas Day, I suppose if you're into that, fair enough. I know the feminists who want to kill babies would have fucking loved this episode and the song, right? But a lot of us in society have a moral fucking compass and think that killing babies is fucking wrong, right? So what false narrative am I spreading, right? Answer that. Instead of just coming out and calling me a snowflake, right? Tell me, what narrative? Counter-argue what I've said. If not, as I said, just shut up, man. RTD is looking tired. Now, RTD is not looking tired, right? RTD has decided that he's going to come back and do Doctor Who the way he wanted to do it in 2005, but wasn't allowed by the BBC. So now that the shackles are off, he's going to do exactly that. And he's going to destroy the show in the meantime doing it. Simple as that. And that's how I feel about it, right? I'm not backing down on this either, right? That's how I feel about it. As I said, if you enjoyed it, that's good on you. Good on you, right? But all I will say is I can't understand it because to me, by looking at it, you have all lowered your standards as far as I'm concerned. And that's what you have done, right? You have allowed the standards to drop over the last few years and you will accept because it's RTD. Right?
Yeah, but I don't think I have, because I've even said myself that I didn't like this one. It wasn't even that walk, and I still didn't like it. It was fairly average. It was very mid. It was definitely Chris' best. Voyage of the Damned is far better,
isn't it? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Voyage of the Damned is probably the best, up there with Christmas.
Compared to New Earth, I mean, it's similar to the Christmas Invasion. You know, the ship in the sky, going there, killing the monster, coming back down. I mean, I don't know if you see from coffee anything from that, but I don't know.
Michael's calling me an
Possibly.
asshole. Boy, go ahead, man. Right? You won't tell me to take a chill pill, right? Okay? So if you have a problem with what I said, you could fuck off as well. Do you think I give a shit? I'm telling you it's all out straight now. Right? I don't give a fucking shit. He's have all lowered his standards and he's all need to fucking cop on. Because this is going to get worse. It's not getting better. And you can already tell by the trailer that they released, there was nothing of substance in that trailer, right? All it was showing Shooty's doctor being a bit flirty with some bloke and in costumes and all of that shit, right? That's what you got in your trailer, right? He released the best trailer in 2005. It's never been surpassed. And now he's probably released the worst fucking trailer of all fucking time. Even Whittaker's trailers were far more interesting than the trailer that we got.
Yeah, I will agree there.
Right.
It wasn't even the best. It was a bit too quick and it didn't show that much.
Oh, that wasn't a trailer. I'll happily, yeah, I'm fully in that camp. That was
It was
just
a
like you
teaser.
said. What can we throw together? Like that's the vibe
That's
I
all
got
it was. It was
completely
just
from the
things
trailer.
thrown together, and that particular Bridgerton episode, as I call it, seemed to feature heavily in the trailer quite a lot. If it was even a trailer, if you want to call it, I don't. It was just random fucking parts
More of a
stuck
teaser,
together.
wasn't it, I guess?
Yeah, and it's because is it May that we're getting the series?
Yeah,
so
May.
I'm
I
guessing
thought it'd be
that's
April,
not.
but
So if we're getting it May, I think that wasn't even a trailer. I think that was them just thinking, oh, we need to put something at the end of the special.
yeah.
And like I will have, and that's the thing. I do think if there's one thing which, once again, I didn't think the advertising was good running up to this.
Oh, it was terrible.
They played the trailer a bit more on BBC, but that was about it. Like Russell has completely lost, and this production team
Yeah.
has
Are
completely
you getting
lost.
the feeling that Russell was actually supporting Chris Chibnall? Because I'm starting to get that weird feeling now with all this.
Well, he's
I
definitely
don't know,
not
but
quick to
it's just,
condemn him.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely buddy with him, isn't he?
Yeah.
but it's
I
like
mean, it's a
Russell.
bit weird. But... Oh, go ahead, Charlotte.
I was just going to say, I think that's one of the reasons why they got that low figure. I think there's other reasons, but I think one of it is Russell just seems to think he doesn't need to advertise this show now. It's just going to be on telly and he'll get people to watch it.
You know what though, Charlotte? While I kind of half agree with you on the other,
No, you're right. You're right.
Kind of don't, and I'll tell you why. You know, you're saying he thinks people will just tune in. If you've had the 6 years that you've had, right, you don't think like that. The fact that the fact that he might think like that shows that he's arrogant, right? The bottom line is that this show really needed top tier advertising. They did none for the 60th, and then they've hedged all their bets on Shooty because even Disney came out and said, "Oh no, we put all our money, we hedged all our bets on Shooty's era." So that's where all the money has gone. But yeah. Look at it. Yeah, we've had a few posters on people have been putting up their photographs of posters around the UK and billboards and stuff on buses and shit like that. But other than it needed more promotion than that.
Yeah, especially as the 60th should have been a leg up, really. And we've all said the 60th was the exact opposite of that. It damaged, it did more
The
harm.
thing with me, I can't really comment that much on it because, like, if you compare it to like how big the promotion was in the first Russell era, I can't really comment on that because I was a bit too young at the time. But I've heard it on the radio. I've like I say, I took a picture of that billboard. I have heard of it. So again, I don't know. I've heard it a few times. I've seen the trailer a few times. So again, I don't know. From what I've personally seen, again, this is very personal because it's how I've seen it. I guess I don't know. I've got nothing to compare it to, but I've seen them promote it. But in contrast to what's come before, maybe they did it better before. I mean, do you remember how they promoted? I guess I remember how they promoted the first season. How they had the whole website. How people were putting up like anecdotes of like the Doctor. Oh, I've seen him in this place. I've seen him in that place. There's a really good thing about that at the time.
Well, and I'm just in my head. I'm trying to compare it to other BBC shows, big BBC shows they have. And they have added some over the last couple of years, and it feels like it feels big with other stuff that the BBC's promoted before. this didn't feel like a
Yeah,
big event.
like, I was going to say, like, yeah, EastEnders. I generally enjoyed the EastEnders Christmas special more than the Doctor Who one. If I'm honest, that's. I think that says how I feel about it. Because I promoted that more. I enjoyed that more. So yeah, perhaps you've got a point there.
Good for you. Good for you. If you like Mr. Tubby, that's good for you. He attacked me earlier on as well. But you know what? That's all good. If he wants to come and call me names behind his block, then he can, because he's a coward. But I'm glad you like him. You go on off now and watch Mr. TARDIS there, and you can fuck off. See you later. It'll become queer as Gallifreyans for a few years before it dies or is handed on a better showrunner. Probably the former. No, this show needs to be cancelled. Right? This show needs to be canned. It's as simple as that. And it should have been canned after Whittaker's there. It's just a pity that RTD did come swanning in. It's a pity that nobody wanted. You know what? The ideal scenario would have been after Chib's era, nobody would touch it. And it'd be left to die. And come back when someone fucking actually respects the show and actually wants to write Doctor Who the way Doctor Who is supposed to be written. No, this show has to be canned.
Needs a hiatus.
Right? Needs to be canned. It's tired anyway. Right? It's why the ratings have been dipping. Right? Even during the RTD era, right at the end, the ratings started to dip. That's why when Moffat came in, he slightly rebooted the show, and then we got season 5 and 6, which were wonderful. Right? And then after that, then the show started to dip again in the ratings. Okay, this show has been dying a slow death ever since the Moffat era. Right? It's as simple as that. And it's been dragged on way too long. Right? It should have ended a long time ago, if we're honest. Right? In fairness, if we're really being honest about it, it should have been ended after Matt Smith's reign. Right? That's when it should have been ended. Right? But Moffat thought bringing in an older Doctor would actually, do the trick. Unfortunately, the younger fans, because they showed their ageism, they were highly critical of Peter Capaldi's casting. And while his casting is still the best casting, in my opinion, of an actor to play the Doctor, he was ultimately let down by Stephen Moffat's inconsistency in his writing. And this is what's going to happen with Shooty. But you add that on top of RTD's politics, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? And Disney's politics. It's going to be a shit show. At least with Stephen Moffat, he was able to push back on the BBC on most of it. Yes, by the end, some of it was inserted into his era, but we kind of know now that it wasn't down to Moffat at all. It was BBC. And he did resist a lot of it. But in the end, because he knew he was going anyway, he kind of allowed
he gave in a bit.
Yeah, he gave in a little bit, right, to appease some people. But the bottom line is that this show has been dying since RTD's specials. And if you look and you go back, because I've actually went back and looked at all the ratings, the show started to rot after his specials. Series 4 was the pinnacle of the RTD era, and then his specials didn't do as great because he was tired. He had ran out of steam at that stage, and he obviously admitted it to himself because he left. He obviously said that he was done. He'd ran out of steam. And this is a man, remember, who said he'd never come back to Doctor Who, right? So why all of a sudden did he change his mind and come back to Doctor Who?
Real one, the showing the lies.
It's obvious why he came back to Doctor Who, right? Because he could do the things that he wasn't able to do, that the BBC, because even for the BBC, he was over the top. So they had to rein him in, right? And he always had someone to rein him in. He has nobody to rein him in. This is the problem. And someone actually, some producer actually said that. I saw it on X. RTD works best when he has someone there to say, "Oh no, Russell, you can't really do that."
Yeah,
reins him in. Because
everybody does. I think it's a general rule of life, isn't it?
Because
guy, Noel, after Matt Smith. That's when they started to really die after Matt Smith. Because
I think Moffat doing Sherlock didn't help as well. The whole breaking up the seasons. No, let's split series 6, and having to wait 3 months in between.
Yeah, I agree.
We've seen it even now. Like, even look at the Mission Impossible thing. There's like a year gap in between each films. It's too long.
Yeah.
I give Moffat one thing. It's at least he tried to write 2 different shows and thought he could juggle it, but you kind of found then later on that bit of Sherlock was bleeding into Doctor Who, and Doctor Who was bleeding into Sherlock. It was like as if he'd forgot to distinguish between the both, because you would get that sometimes. You had the whole Mind Palace thing, and then he did something similar with Doctor Who. It's just, look, Moffat, we have problems with Moffat, but overall, if you look at it, generally his writing was much better. And what were the best written episodes of the RTD era?
Moffat stuff.
What's Moffat?
The Moffat stuff, yeah.
So, I don't know, guys. I think, spring 2024, someone asked me if I'm still going to watch. Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm going to make a shit ton of money out of this show. If they want to destroy my childhood and take away something that has meant a lot to me, well, then I'm going to make money while doing it. And I'm going to absolutely destroy this show. Right? Going to absolutely destroy. As soon as he steps out of line, I'm calling him out. It's as simple as that. I don't give a shit. The shackles are off. Right? I want Doctor Who to go back to what Doctor Who is. And if he doesn't produce that, well, then he's getting called out. And he'll continue to get called out. But not just me, but other fans out there. Some people are saying, why don't you just go now? Just accept that it's over and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you might be able to do that. Some Marvel fan actually came to me, there's some Marvel shows or just movies I don't like, but I'm able to enjoy the rest. Yeah, well, the difference between Marvel and Doctor Who is Marvel has other franchises. Doctor Who doesn't.
Yeah,
right?
Like with Marvel, you could say, well, I only like the Spider-Man stuff.
And before anybody brings up Torchwood Class and all of that, yeah, they're spin-offs, but not the main show. The Doctor wasn't in those shows. Well, he made the brief appearance in Class, but we won't go there, because that was out of place. But no, man, I'm not accepting this anymore. Right? Christopher Eccleston was right. Right? If you want Christopher Eccleston back to Doctor Who, actually, you want Doctor Who to be saved, you need to get rid of RTD and every person that he's brought in. Get rid of them. Right? It's the only way you're getting this show back. And even if we did get rid of RTD now, I think the show is so tired now, it's like there's no point of bringing in a new person now that will bring it back to science fiction, because it's being flogged, right, far too long. This needs to be put on hiatus. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Doctor Who, New Who should never have went on as long as it did, right? People can argue with me on that one all they want, right? But it's a fact. New Who should not have went on for as long as it did, right? It got tired very quickly.
No, Sleep No More. Sorry, I said Zygon Invasion and Sleep No More, and Under the Lake is when it started to buckle. It started getting 5 million ratings instead of 6 million. That's when it started to slide on the ratings. Well, that's consolidated, by the way, but that's when this show started sliding. So season 9, it started to slide. And season 10
and now with there being quite a bit of a gap, it'd be interesting to see what that first episode is going to get in the series proper.
Well,
it looked to be more my kind of episode. It looks a bit creepier, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't wait until the fourth episode drops.
I think halfway through, because I think Russell's written, because it's eight episode series, season 1, whatever you want to call it, series 114, season 40. I think he's written 4 episodes. I think 4 of his and 4 other people's, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the season. I think 4 episodes into the new series. I think that'll be more than enough time, because at least then you'll have the Christmas special. You'll have halfway through the first season. I think that'll be the perfect time for people to make up their opinions, to really feel like, okay, this is how I feel on it. We've had more than enough time with it now. I think that'll be the decision point, I guess.
Oh yeah, guess when the other slide was in the show? Orphan 55. Wonder why.
Jodie, I was going to say, be a Jodie.
Yeah,
thing.
Orphan 55 was when it started sliding, when it's getting like almost directly 5 and 4 million ratings. That's after Orphan 55. She got quite good ratings for season 11, but season 12 is just
I'd rather watch Orphan 55 again.
on repeat. Yeah,
No, I'm serious. I would
Oh,
rather
oh.
watch Orphan 55 over anything that RTD has written this year.
well, I think it got high. It's only consolidated.
Actually, I'd watch The Power of the Doctor again. I'd watch The Power of the Doctor over
was
some of
good
these
compared to
episodes.
this. Yeah.
And I think Power of the Doctor is much better, even though there's not much of a script, but there's a lot of action sequences and it moves along. It had more pace. This Christmas special was uneven. The pacing was all over the place as well. We haven't even got into that. The pacing was all
Yeah, I
over.
thought there was a lot of bit, like quite a lot of standing about. Like when after they saved the baby, like there was a lot of like back and forth into the bedroom to the kitchen. Like it works at midnight because that's kind of what it's tailored to. But like it doesn't really work because it's like in 1 minute you're chasing a giant spaceship, and then you stood about for about 5 or 6 minutes while the Doctor kind of like gets a bit upset, and it kind of like then the pacing's a bit not the greatest. Even as a story, again, even just as a story, is it the strongest? Not really. I look at it. I try and look at it as it is. Like, I think I made a point before. Like, do you compare the Doctor and the Widow and the Wardrobe to Waters of Mars? And those are completely two different things. I try and compare it to other Christmas specials.
I
like,
hate that episode.
I'm not the
I
biggest
hate
fan
that
of the Runaway Bride either, to be honest. And I'd probably compare this below that, maybe above that, maybe on same level. Like I said earlier, like New Earth kind of terrible. It wasn't that great. Like that's how I felt about it. It's like,
I like New Earth. It was okay.
it's not bad, I guess, but it's kind of on that level for me. Like it wasn't a standout great. Like I enjoyed the 60th more than this, to be honest. But I thought that again, there was some positives. The Doctor himself, and it's nice to have it on Christmas again. I think that was kind of what it was supposed to be, because it's not going to be anything too dark. I mean, the darkest the episode got was that scene where Ruby's mother was kind of like, "Oh, I hate kids, and I only do it for the money." But like,
yeah, that made no sense though. That pissed me off, man.
I suppose like how did that, like, why is she like that? Like, it is all it takes is Ruby to not exist for her to be like that. And I thought, well, is it like her earlier? When I watched that, I actually thought, is that like her earlier? Because she seemed like she said, "Oh, this is my 6th foster child or whatever," unlike the 33 I think she had or whatever.
Yeah,
So maybe
33.
at the beginning. I thought is that her at the beginning? Like, was she like a bit colder and then like she kind of grew a bit? I don't know. That was a bit strange, I guess. But yeah.
But why was it 33 kids as well? See, symbolism is very important as well. And about the media, the number 33 is very important, but I won't get into
So
it.
it might have been 30. I don't know if it's 33 or 34.
Go and Google it yourself and go down your own little rabbit hole like I did. But the number 23 is very significant. But look, again, that scene was ridiculous. I mean, you're right. All it took was Ruby to be erased from history for that woman to turn out to be an absolute prick and hate kids and just take the kids because she was.
And I thought, well, did the goblins do something? Did they make her just like colder? Like, because they did say something about it, didn't they? When like the Doctor said something about when you have so many bad things like happen, you get like vivid and everything just feels wrong, and But maybe I'm just reading something into that. I just think it was a Christmas episode. It was never going to be something too massive, in terms of like anything epic or grand. Like I say, I think the giggle was more.
Look, I know Doctor Who Christmas specials are supposed to be kind of.
I mean, they can be. I mean, the Damned Again was pretty epic.
You would judge a normal episode that's on during an 8th season or a 12-episode season or whatever. Right? I get that. The Christmas specials is supposed to be a bit of fun and laughter. He fucking depressed us. That's what he did. He depressed us. Right? Made us fucking miserable. That's what he made us feel, Christmas. Right? And if you're an adoptive person watching that, and I'm watching the scene that I brought up, I'm telling you now, you wouldn't be happy. You would not be happy. That. Right? He's a miserable. Listen, the bottom line is RTD, I said this, right? And I'll say it again. RTD feels like he has to defend certain communities out there. And as this goes on, that's exactly what he's going to use this show for. And this is why I'm telling you, this gets no better. Right? That was shown Christmas Day, supposed to be his best writing, according to some, best Christmas special we've had in years. Well, if that's the best Christmas special we've had in years.
Well, they haven't.
God help you, because to me that was just absolutely.
I mean, I'd rather watch it than Last Christmas, but I mean, is it better than Twice Upon a Time? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Last Christmas, is that the one with the face?
I've been watching a lot of them. I've introduced Doctor Who to my girlfriend, and we've watched a lot of the Christmas specials, and like again, like Christmas Invasion, whatever. I think that's what you've got to ask yourself. Would you rather watch that or that one? Watch this or that one? I could see myself watching this over Last Christmas and maybe The Widow and the Wardrobe and what was the superhero one?
Doctor Mysterio.
Yeah, I put this on par with maybe The Runaway Bride. Christmas
better than The Runaway Bride.
I'm sorry, I disagree with you. You cannot put this on par with The Runaway Bride. The Runaway Bride is sensational.
It was never my favorite.
The reason why people don't like The Runaway Bride is because Catherine Tate is loud.
Yeah, it's not Catherine. It's not Catherine. It's just the story.
Actually watch the writing and the character development. It's fucking brilliant.
It's not Catherine.
What?
It's not Catherine that I have a problem with. It's just as a script. I prefer like the Christmas Invasion to it. Even as a kid, it was never my favorite one. I always preferred Voyage. I think even End of Time.
Voyage of the Damned was good. I like Voyage of the Damned myself.
I'd rather watch Runaway Bride than Last Christmas and Widow and the Wardrobe and the superhero one. It is very good, but it's just compared to the others. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I consider Series 2 to be kind of not the worst, because worst sounds strong, but like out of the whole 4 seasons, I would probably say Series 2 was the weakest. But when I say weakest, that makes it sound like it's really bad, but it's not. It's just because the other ones are so good. That's the thing with the Christmas one, because like Runaway Bride's not terrible, but compared to the rest, I prefer the rest.
Mm.
But he's doing another one next year. I don't know. It's just, it is all very subjective. It's like I said earlier. It's all about threshold. It's what if you can see something that you like and you can take something positive that you like out of it, and then that's good. But for other people, some things are just too hard to miss. So for some things, you just might not be able to look over.
Yeah, Cinnamon, that's the problem.
But again, it's just attitude is if you like some bits, Cinnamon.
But it's not just about bits. I do like a lot of it. There was a lot of it. I just mean in sense.
You didn't say that about Genesis of the Daleks or Pyramids of Mars or any of the new Who episodes that you thought were.
And that leads me to my second point. We never had to go into episodes wishing like, oh, I hope this one is a good one, because I agree with. I think Dan mentioned maybe something about this, about like we shouldn't have to like go in like the next episode when the next season comes out. I don't want to sit there hoping like, oh, I hope it's a good one this week. I hope it's not like going to be nonsense. But like, because we never used to be like that, and it's almost like it's a bit like I'm almost praising it. Like I have to remember to stop myself. Like I was like, even for this episode, I had to stop myself from praising it because it wasn't woke. Like that was like, that should be bare minimum. Like it's like a father like changing the child's nappy and like expecting praise for it. Well, yeah, so you should be doing that. Maybe a bit of a weird comparison, but you'll probably get what I mean.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Like it shouldn't be praised for being a decent, watchable episode, if that. That's the big thing.
I'm not expecting Doctor Who to be top tier every week, because you can never get the show that's top tier week in, week out. You're always going to have inconsistent episodes and maybe episodes that don't quite reach fans' expectations.
Yeah, maybe this episode was a bit like an AJ slanting, or again, it's one of them ones that I would probably. I mean, would I skip it over? I mean, it's the new Doctor's first episode, so it's got that. But if this wasn't Shooty's first story, if this was like his second Christmas special or something like that, I'd probably give it less points, if that makes sense. I'd probably if this was his second Christmas special instead of his first, I probably would maybe skip over it. I'd watch it on reruns if I'm binging it, if I'm doing a rewatch. But like it wouldn't be one that I'd jump out with,
Well, the rumor is that he's actually leaving after season 2.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I was going to say,
this is why we have a problem. Someone just brought it up there as well, right? And this is why I have a problem with it. And I think this is a valid point. I think it's probably the most valid point actually here. Where is it?
I mean, I hope not. I do like what I've seen so far from him.
What did Philip write? Where is it? Philip wrote There it is.
But I've been
And
thinking
I
that
think-
myself because
I
they keep
think
saying
this
about
is the issue that we do actually have. New Who has had too many regenerations in such in so short years. It quickly became a gimmick, and I think that's what one of the issues is as well. To be quite honest.
I mean, you can't really argue against that. I mean, the whole bringing back like 14, like they've used an entire incarnation just to have 10 and 3 episodes.
Pissed away regeneration left, right, and centre.
And in classic regeneration, had one ball and it kept to that, and it didn't go away from that. I knew who has.
Like, imagine being like,
did it as well. He would do
like,
stupid stuff with regeneration.
Logopolis was the first, like, that was the first time we saw the Doctor regenerate in like 7 years, wasn't it? So it used to be like a very rare thing that would like happen every couple of years.
That's what I mean, and it needs to go back.
We've actually had in the last last 2 years, we've had like 3 eras. We've had the Whittaker era end, then we had the very brief 14th Doctor era, and then we're now in the Shoot era. There's a lot of change, isn't there?
Yeah. Whereas I think if you're going to be
and you know what? And just quickly, I saw someone who was autistic. Someone who was autistic on Russell's Instagram actually mentioned this, and she actually she said how much she loves the show, and she said like she loved the episode and stuff, but she did have a problem with her being autistic. She had a problem with the constant change of it all, and and I kind of agree. There is a lot of change and a lot of unnecessary change, but just like
I don't think it was unnecessary change. I think some actors, like David Tennant, he had his time. He done what was it, 4 years, including the specials. So I mean, he's been the longest serving New Who Doctor, but that's the way it should have been with all of them.
It should be 3 to 5 years.
He should be long-term casting here. He's a young lad, right? He should, when he signs the contract, look, we want you here for at least 5 seasons, right? And if he agrees to do it, he signs on the dotted line, and that's it. It should be long-term. If he's going to leave after his second season,
that's the thing.
It's going to be upheaval again. Then he's going to have to introduce a new Doctor, and God knows with what RTD is thinking. And I said this on Twitter, mark my words, this is happening. I know this is happening. But the next Doctor, right, he has 2 options left to him now, right? Because he's cast a black guy as the Doctor. We've already had a female Doctor that was black, the fugitive Doctor that gets no mention. They've all forgotten about Joe Martin, conveniently. We've had a female Doctor in Jodie Whittaker, and then obviously we've had the white male Doctors over the years. There's only 2 options left open to them now: trans Doctor or an Asian Doctor.
Yeah, I think that's. I remember being in discussion about that before, about like what kind of are we doing, British, Asian, like, because at the end of the day, this is a British show. I mean, even Shooty's British, so it can.
Yeah, technically Scottish.
Yeah, well, that's British.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, he is. He's from Scotland. It's part of the UK. It doesn't matter what age he came to Scotland at. He's a Scottish national, Scottish citizen. He's worked at it, so he's a British citizen.
But yeah, I mean,
he contributes to society in a positive way, doesn't he? So, he is a British actor, no matter what people say out there. There has been a bit of racism towards him, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, I know about that.
I have to be honest. I do think it is a bit disappointing. You should judge him on
certain people keep he's Nigerian. He's not Nigerian. I mean, he's Rwandan, if anything, but Scottish, anything like that.
But he is. He might be Scottish, but let's be honest. He's Rwandan, Scottish, and Scottish Rwandan. He's part of 2 countries.
Yeah,
his accent shows that very clearly.
It's just when some people have given their thoughts about it and they've kind of digged at him.
So
if you're going to dig at him, at least get it right.
I think he's just going to be let down, and I'm pissed off for Shooty. And this is why I'm so angry.
Yeah, I think it's been disappointing.
We're actually getting. Listen, I know there was a lot of doubts when he was first cast. I was actually open to his casting from day one. I'm saying let's give him a chance, right? I'm giving him a chance, and I'm happy with him. I actually think he'll make a fantastic Doctor, but I think RTD is going to do a Chris Chibnall, and he's going to let him down, and I think he'll use him because of his skin color to get certain messages out. And even Millie Gibson has come out in an interview just over the Christmas to say that Doctor Who is going to be very political and it's going to be very controversial.
Okay, won't watch it. Thanks, Millie.
So she's already come out and said it. RTD has also said the same thing. This is not, as
Okay,
I
thanks
said,
for warning.
it's going to be. This is going to be worse than what we got in 2005. He's going to be even more political. He's going to triple down. Simple as that. And he feels like, and there's a certain community out there that he feels, because obviously they've been featured so far, the trans community, right? He feels like he has to defend them, so he's going to do it, and he's going to use Doctor Who to do it. And anybody that thinks different, well, look what he's written so far. It's clear. He's brought in trans writers. He's brought in writers that have dealt with feminist issues and trans issues, right? You can just go, they've announced all the writers and stuff like that. They make the announcements, right? You can go and check it out. Check out the bios. There's a lot of feminists. There's a lot of trans activists, right? That's who he's getting to write the show.
Needs to be sci-fi, what it is.
And then,
interested in the genre.
On top of that, then the artists that he's getting as well, by the way, are trans artists. He's not going and getting the best artists for the job. He's going and he's picking trans artists to do the art for the show. Also, on top of that, the person that's doing the novelizations of his books is a trans person as well. So be under no illusion, right? Be under no illusion. RTD is going to use this show to push back on all the negativity that has been festering with the trans community over the last couple of years. And why is that? Well, it's because of the activists and because of what they want to do. As I said, and I'll say it to you again, RTD, right? And everybody, every other gobshite out there that supports trans rights and believes trans rights are human rights, even though they have the same rights as us all. But anyway, right, the only right that you don't have is to enter women's safe spaces, sports, and, you know, indoctrinate our kids. Now, as I said, if you left kids out of this, right, there would have been no pushback, right, from the public, right? So the activists that are representing the trans community, if there are people in the trans community, and I know a few on X, by the way, who are highly critical of what RTD is doing, by the way, more you guys in the community need to speak up. I know you're afraid because these activists then turn everybody against you, right? Now, I get called transphobic. I'm the least transphobic person here. The people that claim to support you and your rights are the ones that are transphobic, you see, right? See, I want you to be represented properly, right? I want you that if you are given a part in a TV show, that the character that you play is developed properly and you get screen time, not a couple of minutes here and there as a bit of tokenism. There you go, right? That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, right? And we'll never move forward as a society if we keep half-assing things like this, right? You want to have conversations and debates, well then let's have conversations and debates. But with the left and people like RTD, there is no debate. And he'll use the show to basically call us all out. That's what he's going to do with this. So don't be under any illusion that you're going to get a sci-fi show under RTD. You'll get a show that has the name Doctor Who, looks a little bit like Doctor Who, but isn't Doctor Who, right? You take the TARDIS out of this, right? You don't call Shooty the Doctor. What have you got? You got an absolute shit show, a mess, right? Mess, right? My biggest issue here is the writing, right? That's it. The writing. RTD, right? Carl the Sun was going to save Doctor Who. Do you remember we had them on the channel and all telling everybody, oh yeah, this is a rescue mission.
Anyone seen Apocalypse Now?
Rescue mission for who? The trans community? Because it certainly wasn't for fucking Doctor Who. And I wonder how those two gobshites feel now. I wonder if they're defending it. They're probably defending it because RTD gave them a tour of his new set. You know, that's why they stabbed me in the back. Right? But I'm not accepting substandard writing anymore. Right? I've had 6 years of it. I'm not going to take another era of piss poor writing. So, you know, I already know his fourth season is going to be a wrote off because it's already written. Hopefully, his second season, because he has seen some of the backlash.
Second season.
Hopefully, he does something, maybe course corrects like Jibs, but again, it'll be too late. And we'll be back in the same cycle as we were before. So the best thing for this show is for it to just end. So the sooner it loses its primetime spot on BBC, the better. Right? And as soon as it loses that, it goes straight onto iPlayer, Disney Plus. Then they won't have any overnights to talk about. Okay? It'll be done. So that's what you need to do. And BBC, trust me, I can even tell BBC are not actually promoting this as much as they used to promote it. That I can guarantee you that this is even too woke for the BBC. Right?
I can actually
That's saying a lot coming from an organisation like the BBC, but I'm telling you, even for them, this Disney Who.
Well, hasn't even Disney kind of come out and admitted that they kind of went a bit far with like the whole cinema ticket paying customer audience or whatever? It's just dropped away or something like that.
Well, I've talked about their brand damage recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, but you're right, Charlotte. They did speak about that. Bob Iger did. Oh, we need to do things less woke. Well, then we're still waiting.
Down, yeah.
We're still waiting. Still waiting. So where's this promise of doing less woke and actually giving your audience what you want? See, I think RTD has forgotten where he's came from. You know, I know he did. I know he did stuff before Doctor Who, and I'm not saying he wasn't popular before he did Doctor Who, because that would be unfair to say, right? But Doctor Who, in my opinion, brought him to an international audience, right? And I think he forgets where he came from.
Not really. That was one off it.
I don't think he would have went on to have the career that he had if it hadn't have been for Doctor Who.
It wasn't until season 5 it became truly international, though. It was coming international.
Yeah.
BBC America.
That was Moffat who made it international.
So why he shows a lack of
Doctor
respect.
Who was his big break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Doctor Who was his big break, otherwise, because if it wasn't, he'd still be doing stuff like Cucumber and whatever that was.
He'd be doing stuff for Channel 4 all the time.
Bob and Rose and stuff.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if you saw that documentary, the whole Doctor Who and Me thing that they did. And it's like, in a part of it, it says like, oh, Russell doesn't just want to be known as the gay writer. But then, like, well, most of his stuff he's done has been like a lot of that. Yeah. And he, in an interview with Frank Skinner, I think he's on a radio thing. Frank Skinner mentioned something like, "Oh, do you mind being called the gay writer?" And he said, "Oh yeah, sort of it. Oh, I don't mind it." I said, "Well, which is it then? Like, do you want to be known as the gay writer, or do you want to be known as someone who actually, you know, as a gay person who just so happens to write lots of other things as well?"
Sexuality should never come into it anyway.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem we have in modern society. It's not just a writer anymore. Oh, it's a gay writer, or it's a trans writer.
If you want to write queer as folk and, you know, it's a sin, that's absolutely fine. Like,
there's a place
sex
for it.
education is very, very Gen Z. It is very liberal. And, you know, I didn't mind it because I was actually able to enjoy it because there was actually a decent plot there. But that was the show for it. Like, this isn't sex education. This is Doctor Who.
Yeah.
This is a family show. It's not a radical show. It's radical in the terms of, like, it can do lots of things. It can go in crazy adventures.
Dynamic.
Crazy adventure. Yeah, it's that kind of dynamic. Radical.
Yeah, I think
radical
the confusion is modern fans is they think, you know, that.
But he means radical in the progressive sense, and like, you know, and and all about the diversity and in the inclusion. There's nothing wrong with having a trans person in it, but when that is the central focus, or when it's all about that, and that's your messaging. What was it Terence Dicks said? What was it? Too much on a story.
Yeah,
if you don't focus on the story, then, you know, you've got nothing. It's just, remember what made you, and it's like people like Jack and people like me, the children that grew up with this particular era. That was what got you where you are. That insane how popular it was. It's ridiculous how high it was at its peak. Doctor Who was the Marvel. Forget Marvel. Doctor Who was the one doing spin-offs. Yeah, obviously the comics and stuff like that had spin-offs. But
no, you're right. You're right. Because
2008. 2008. I think the first Marvel films, Iron Man and that Hulk film that just came out. But you had Torchwood. I never watched Torchwood. I was a bit too young for it at the time. But I watched
you had Sarah Jane. You had the Sarah Jane Adventures as
Voyage
well.
of the Damned was the most highest reviewed one, I think, at the time.
Yep.
It was 30 million or whatever.
12.2 million, my friend.
And then obviously, then it got even a bit bigger with the whole BBC America. And when Series 5 came out, Americans a lot more. Obviously, people watched it all around the world anyway, but it definitely expanded a lot more.
Yeah.
And then it kind of dwindled, I guess, maybe towards the Capaldi era, and then definitely it died flat death in America when it came to Chibnall. But
I think it ran out of steam there. It wasn't just the fact that the writing was a little bit inconsistent. I do believe, though, even at that stage, the show was on its last legs anyway. It was, as I said, I don't think New Who should have went on as long as
it became quite samey. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, about Series 8, and it's like, do you remember Time Heist and Listen? Like a lot of them don't stand out as much as like some of the other ones do. And it's like, I'm trying to think, well, is that just because of nostalgia? I thought, well, I don't think so. I think a lot of it it is a lot of just uninspiring. The script's got
the problem was Moffat. He got bogged down in his own plots too much. It was like he couldn't. He had this elaborate plan or this really complicated, twisty plot.
That was the big problem with Series 6, because it's like it started off with the two-part with the moon thing and then the silence, and then it kind of took a break from that, and then had the Curse of the Black Spot, and then the Cube one, the Doctor's Wife, which is a fantastic episode, but like it's very stop-start. Like it'll start with the whole this whole season arc of it, and then it'll rest for a little bit, and then you'll get the Flesh two-part or whatever that was, and then it'll be like you get the God Complex, which is very heavy on the story of that season, and then it'll go back to something like Night Terrors, and then it'll all build it back up again. It's not consistent enough. Very like stop-start with that one, that season.
No, and it will be interesting to me in this special. There was clearly stuff that we're going to go back to with Ruby's mum. The fact that we saw her, the back of her. So they've obviously cast an actress because it looked like a woman to me. So that I can't help but think that's going to get looked at again. I can't, and I'm also maybe Anita Dobson's character. She did seem to weirdly know stuff by the end of the episode.
Again, everyone's making a big thing about that on Twitter lately as well. About have you never seen a TARDIS before?
Oh, not that line so much. It was more just how she seemed to, like, say good luck to Ruby and little things like that.
Yeah, like she didn't seem fazed by it, did she?
Yeah, like that completely made me think, okay, maybe. So he has, for me, he put stuff here that also the fact that they couldn't find Ruby's mum, like no DNA, no blood, nothing. Like that has to, like, and honestly, for me, this wasn't just I enjoyed bits. I enjoyed a good chunk of this for different reasons. I enjoyed the little, like I said, those little mysteries that he set up. I enjoyed Ncuti's Doctor so far as much as I've seen, need to see more. I thought there was some good action stuff here, that him running on the roof, them sort of being in the ship. I thought there was some really good effects with the goblins. I thought the hands looked a bit ropey. I will happily admit that at the beginning when you could just see the hands and the arms moving stuff. But when I'm guessing that was CGI, I think the actual goblins were physical. So when you
the Big Goblin King was very he used practical effects for that. They had about 5 guys, I think, puppeteer in that thing.
Yeah,
and that quite good.
When you could tell it was physical, it looked good. So I thought there was, and that's what I liked, the idea of this sort of adventure again. The Doctor's saving people. He saved the woman with the massive snowman. He saved the baby. Like he was very active. He was very like not standing back.
I kind of got the impression that he'd be not maybe in the Doctor for a while, but like there's stuff like why is he in a club? Like I kind of got the impression like he's been the Doctor for like a little bit. Like he seems to be bouncing around doing stuff. Like he's here, then he's like, oh, next thing he's there, just, like kind of enjoying himself.
Yeah,
like he's getting used to being like himself again.
This wasn't like a Matt situation or a Tennant when it's like, oh, I'm learning myself. It was very like, no, I know who I am almost. A bit Eccleston-like, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like it takes place exactly right after the giggle.
No,
it feels like he's been maybe like a couple of days or a week or something. Like a bit like the 2-week gap from the last episode to this. I kind of feels like how long he's been. Like he's been in it for like a couple of days, just kind of having fun.
Yeah, and I also intelligence, to show little bits of his intelligence to me with the scene with when he's talking to the policeman and he says to him, oh, she'll say yes, and then he does that whole, well, you bought the ring and it's before the sales and that shows you love her, and little things like that. That shows he knows people, is intelligent. That's what the Doctor does. How he did sort of something I noticed with Shooty a lot, which I quite liked. He almost seemed to constantly be looking around. Like if he was sat in a room and Ruby was talking, he was always looking to see what he needed to do or what he needed to work out. And so that's what I mean. Shooty comes across to me as a very active Doctor. A one that's not going to stand about. He's going to go. He's going to do. He's very physical. Yeah, definitely. That trait as well.
Doesn't seem like the type of person that sits still.
No. Oh, God, no. And also a little bit of shortness with people. Like when he sort of basically shouted at them that he thought he had the baby in the pram. And he was like, why have you got a baby out on Christmas Day?
Yeah. And I am learning the vocabulary of rope.
Like I said, but that's what I like a Doctor that can be a bit grouchy, a bit short with people.
Yeah, I didn't mind the sass. He builds. I mean, I thought him and Ruby got hit it off from the first second. Really, they seem to have that
the chemistry was there.
Pretty quick. Like they seem like the type of people. Like again, a little bit like that kind of Catherine David kind of connect. Like they'll feel free. Like they'll have a little bit of bickering like moment. Like that little sassy kind of remark. Like, excuse me, I'm trying to like learn rope here. Language of it.
Or like when Ruby was like to the Goblin, did you just hiss at me? Like that sort of stuff. That's a bit of bite to her, which I think you need.
And and obviously it's like, who sees the ladder and it just pops on? Like, yeah, you. I would.
Yeah, and like when he was like, you see a ladder and you just go on it. And
I'll give that a go, babes. So, they've got that. Yeah, I like the sort of kind of spiky, but again, I liked it because I am getting a bit sick of these all love things,
Oh yes, whole love. It's very
I just want it, that's kind of why I liked it. How with David, because it kind of echoed. Maybe it's not exactly the same. That was that obviously, Catherine was supposed to be playing probably a 30-year-old woman at the time, but and she's obviously a young girl in Ruby. But I kind of like that kind of energy, like just I don't know, two girls. Messing about at the back of class or something, just giggling, just getting up to stuff.
Yeah, I like the moment when she was on the roof and she did have that moment of God, like I'm really high, and you could see she was scared, but then she sort of steeled herself and said, "No, I have to do it." So for me, it wasn't just the acting. Honestly, I thought there was some good writing, character stuff here. There was some good sort of interaction stuff. That was writing. It wasn't all the actors. But I agree with what Cinnamon said. Was this a really complicated, like amazing plot? No. It did what it needed to do. It introduced your companion. It introduced your Doctor. It was
very set up for that, wasn't it? It was just to get the new Doctor on screen, introduce a new companion, set up the new family dynamic. The grandmother, the mother, the house. It's going to be like I do hope it's like how they did it in series 1. It's a bit of a recurring theme. We're going back to that place again. We're going back to these characters again, like how we did with Rose. We see these characters, not so much of Jackie, but but with a bit more later on in Aliens of London and World War 3.
Yeah, like if
developing that more
after maybe she's done some adventures, they stop back at Earth for I don't know. So, like I said, for me, there actually was good bits of writing here. But like I said, this was very much a type of episode we got when it came to the fantasy with the magic. I can see some of Shooty's little ticks getting on people's nerves because, he does speak at times very current day. Some of his dialogue, it's very sort of like you don't get that vibe of, oh, this is an alien that's hundreds of years old. Sometimes his dialogue is very... But like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was. but this is for me seen as now, okay, this is your sort of start. Let's see what you can do next. That's what I really want to see. What are you going to do next? How are you going to do your plots? How are you going to do your series arc if we've got one? How are you going to show these two developing any sort of relationship, if it's a friendship?
This is what I think I mentioned this earlier, because this is it now. This is the start. Like, you've had your 60th with David and Kath, and those are familiar characters. You can have a bit of, like, maybe not so much fan service, but you can have your little throwbacks and your little references, and you can have your little, that can be like not a free pass, because obviously you judge it. Everyone's allowed to judge it, but like, you've had your 3 episodes now with your old crew. This is it. This is a new era. This is a new Doctor, the new companion. This is where it really counts.
Way more.
See, I disagree. I disagree with you. You're saying that's where it really counts. What really counts should have been the 60th. That's where but that's where. No, but hang on. Let me finish first. That's where you give the fans the impression of what you're going to do in the future. And I get what you're saying, that the 3 episodes of the 60th are completely different to what he's going to give us. But it indicates, even during the 3 episodes, that the writing in places, the character development in places, and the politics was pretty evident. So, when you then go into the Christmas special, well, I mean, you're going to have that in the back of your head anyway, because of what he did with the first 3 specials. So I get what you're saying, that the Christmas special is a starting point now for Shooty's Doctor, and it's kind of a new beginning, and, all of that. But how you think that the writing is going to be any better when he's produced 4 specials, which some of you have even openly admitted, if you go back to other episodes, were better than what he's produced? So how can you think that this is going to improve when it comes back for season 14 in March or April, whenever it comes back?
Because for me, in this special, I saw some better writing than stuff you did in the 60th. Because for me, there wasn't a lot of politics in this, and there was quite a bit of that in the 60th.
All right, but can I ask you, just because there wasn't any politics in it, does that automatically, to you, does that mean, I'm just asking you this question, by the way, because I say to me, would it be that, right, because there was less politics in it, that's why it was better for you?
No, I said that earlier. Even in the stream, I even said that earlier. I said even though it was less woke, it was still like not that great. I even said, if we go back, I definitely said that. I thought Wild Blue Yonder was better as a story. I thought this was better than Star Beast, but worse than The Giggle and Wild Blue Yonder, even without the woke stuff. So,
for me, it wasn't just that, but like I said in Star Beast, for example, at the expense of Rose as a character, he concentrated on politics. So here, he actually concentrated on the characters again for me. He concentrated on setting up Shooty. He concentrated on setting up Millie as characters. What traits have they got? What little bits of backstory with Ruby? Sort of showing us a little bit how Shooty's different to past Doctors. Those things for me, and that should be your priority. Whereas for the 60th, I said this, I didn't like Tennant's 14th Doctor, because for me, that Doctor wasn't written as a proper Doctor, because he was tepid. He didn't have that fire. He was letting people just completely walk all over him. There was so many.
Like a slightly diluted version of 10, didn't he?
Yeah, he was to me that was a diluted Tennant.
Tennant's Doctor was pacified because Tennant's Doctor was the most popular Doctor in the New Who era. So if you're going to bring him back, right, and you already know there's going to be a backlash, which there was when he was originally brought back. Remember, all these LGBTQ plus warriors were all threatening David Tennant and RTD. As soon as RTD and David Tennant started pandering to them, they were best friends with them, right? But he had to change Air Doctor. He had to change the most popular Doctor. It was done deliberately. So don't be under the illusion that he didn't do this deliberately. Of course he did it deliberately. David Tennant's Doctor was deliberately pacified and made look like a fucking idiot, right? Yeah. And there was all reason behind that.
But for me, in this episode, Shooty was actually answering back. He was being a bit snappy. He had a bit of attitude. And I didn't see any of that with Tennant's Doctor.
No, I think Shooty Doctor was better written than Tennant's Doctor.
This is my point. That for me, yes, we don't have a clue what the series is going to entail when it comes back. Like we said, that trailer was nothing. He didn't give us anything to go off. So you can't go off that trailer. But there was things here which I saw that done better than he did in the specials, than he did in the 60th, sorry. So that's making me think, okay, so it's not just a politics thing. I just started with that because that's the obvious thing, like you said, that's in people's heads. That's really going to be the doubt in the back of your head.
Well, it is. And it's going to be when season 14 starts. Now that people have, and I think a lot of people have made up their minds now. I think it's going to struggle to get. I mean, what did this special get for? What was it? For just under 5 million?
4.7, I think, or 4.8.
Yeah.
Like
It'd be lucky if his debut of his first episode of his first full season does any better than that. I think it's
for a Doctor start, you need a big number to sort of give him the best sort of footing, don't you? And a 4.7 is not really a strong footing for Shooty as a Doctor to begin with.
No, it's not. No. But it's not his fault. And that's what I want to make that clear, by the way. I don't think
it's not his fault. It's because of what Russell did in the 60th beforehand.
Yeah. It's all the 5 years that have preceded him, isn't it?
And that as well.
You know, there's a lot. I know that this Doctor might be free of baggage, but the show isn't. The show is carrying, what is it? The straw that breaks the camel's back. Anything more, he's done a lot of stress. Under a lot of stress.
Should be taken as a professional.
He shouldn't fall to Shooty to lift it up on his shoulders, because, again, this is why I said before, I feel bad for him because I really like him, and it's like, look at him, he's getting like 40, he's getting 40, low ratings. There's so much like sort of negativity just surrounding the show. It's not. This isn't in a healthy position. This isn't, the start of Matt Smith when like, everything was fine, or even the start of. Well, I suppose the start of Capaldi was a bit steeped in doubt. There was a few doubters, I guess, but everyone's got doubters. But this isn't. He's not starting in. He started well, but he's not. He's what is the expression?
The show hasn't started well, but he has. Like that idea of what you're saying, cinema.
Yeah, like he's I don't know. He's a big fish in a very small pond now. Like he's all right, but there's not a lot of room to maneuver, I guess. If that.
But unfortunately, and I have to say this, there will be some elements of the fandom that will, no matter what happens, even if RTD's writing is bad, it'll be Shooty's fault somehow. We've already seen that, unfortunately. But I'll be blaming RTD wholeheartedly. He had an opportunity, just like Chibs had with the first female Doctor, to convince the fans here that this could work. I think it's going to fail horribly.
Do you want to take a bet on who RTD blames when after Shooty leaves?
Oh, we know he's going to say it was racism.
Yeah,
I think he's going to say it's Shooty. I go, he wasn't right for the role, but
No.
Oh no, he's not going to put Shooty under the bus.
He won't throw Shooty under the bus. He'll blame racism. He'll say it was racism, which won't be fair to say. There is a small element in the fandom that have always been racist.
I think Shooty's good at the part. I mean, his accent's a bit off, but that's because he's dual nationality, but. Even Rabbi likes him. Rabbi says he's got a bit of Tom Baker in him. I mean,
I think it says a lot that in his 20 minutes or whatever it was in the Giggle and like his first episode, he's already better than Jodie was in her entire era.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I mean, obviously, you could still get worse. Obviously, I'm not denying that. You could have a really bad season. You could, anything's possible. But I think that says a lot as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're gonna love this. Apparently, right? So Joe, Matrix Lord, is putting all of this stuff up. I should just mention it anyway, because he used to. I don't know if he still gets the rumors and stuff like this. But apparently Davros is gay now.
Oh, fuck off. Sorry, that's the only response I can give you. That's
no,
the only
never
response I can give
PD.
you.
I've never, in all the time that I've had PD on this channel, I've never heard him say, fuck off.
Whatever.
No, but that reaction proves it perfectly, right?
Yeah.
All it will take is Russell to do one thing in that realm. All it will take is something like that. And it doesn't, and it won't matter what Shooty does. It won't matter what Millie does. It won't matter what the episode even is. All it's going to take is something like that.
So here, listen to this. He wrote this 4 hours ago. He goes, wait, the regeneration energy made Davros gay too? Holy shit.
How could it do that?
I was going to say, what regeneration energy?
When you give him a little bit in the when you restrict by
pizza, right?
in series 9.
God, no.
And they keep using that as well. They keep saying, "Oh, well, if he gets a new, like, oh, how's he got a new body? How is he like so able-bodied now?" Like, oh, they're saying that now. They're saying, "Oh, that energy, let him grow an entirely new body or whatever."
Okay, let's be fair, right? As soon as we get a Dalek episode, we're all going to be waiting for the shoe to drop with Davros. Is he going to be in there? How is he going to be written?
I don't know. I kind of want Davros to
written
come
the
back.
same way as he wrote him for the Davros Gate stuff, then forget about it. It's done. Yeah, I think you will all have to admit then if he doesn't bring Davros back in his life support machine, then this show is done. Davros is not able-bodied. I don't give a shit what anybody says. And by the way, he didn't offend disabled people, right? RTD made it an offense, right? This is again. You've got to look at all of the stuff that he's done so far, right? And so far, he's done himself no favors. Now, listen, I hope you all get that miracle. I hope Series 14 is great. I want to be sitting here like Cybermat Strike said there. What's the bet that by next year Noel changes his mind on Series 14, blah, blah. I hope I can. I really do. I really hope I could sit here and tell you Doctor Who is back, right? Doctor Who is triumphant. It's given us good sci-fi stories. Look, I'm not expecting it to be spectacular week in, week out, right? But what I'm asking for is decent fucking stories that keep me interested.
Yeah,
right?
Eddie is playing the master next.
Yeah, just saw
it. We'll see. I want to be able to say those things, right? But right now, with the evidence that we've seen so far with his writing, the stuff that he's come out with, the people that he's casting, the people that he's getting behind the scenes, the people that he's doing doing the artwork, that's writing the novelizations of his book, of his episodes, right, tells me something different. Right, and then on top of that, then he has the fan show with Jono Dawson, who, in a lot of countries, caused an awful lot of controversy because of the books that they write that are being shown to children, and the people that support Juno, you can deny it all you want. It's a fucking fact. They reclassified what a young adult is to make it younger. Right? If this book was really for a young adult, it'll be between the ages of 16 and 18. That's what a young adult is. Right? Not 14. 15 or 12, sorry, 12, from 12 onwards, those books are being taken, right? I'm sorry, they're not suitable for kids of that age, right? Bottom line, right? So he's got activists. He brought back Crystal D as well, who during the Jodie Whittaker era attacked every single person that had a problem with Jodie Whittaker's casting and how the show was running. And on top of that as well, he has Ben Cook back writing these articles to spin his shit, right? So he's brought back every single back he got rid of during the Jodie Whittaker era, and he's reintroduced them back. And then he's doing all the casting that he's doing. And this is the thing, right? Why do I bring up the casting? Because I know it doesn't matter. He brings in a trans actor, right? Right? They're not going to get the character development, right? They'll be on screen for a couple of minutes, get maybe 1-2 lines of dialogue, and that's it. Bang, there's the box tick, move on. Right? I don't believe for 1 second that this era of RTD is going to be successful. And that's how I feel right now. I think it's going to crash and burn, and I think it's going to crash and burn very quickly. And he's only got himself to blame because he had the perfect opportunity here. Yes, he had a hard job. We've always said he had a hard job. This fandom was fractured, right? The show hasn't been great in 5 to 6 years, probably even more. At the end of Moffat era, let's say, right? Hasn't been the greatest, right? It needed something spectacular. And he hasn't given us that spectacular. That 60th anniversary should have blew us all away. Don't care what anybody says. It should have, right? It should have blew us all away. We should be still talking about the 60th today, right? And then obviously saying how great, hopefully, the Christmas special was going to be. That's what we should have been, but we weren't. Not everybody was happy with the 60th, right? And then we get more of the same as far as I'm concerned. Yes, less politics. That's great. Well, okay, great. No, less politics. But you're still not getting stellar writing. I mean, it's uneven. You know, Shooty had a couple of great lines of dialogue. You know, I did love that scene. I will say, even though I have criticism of the scene, the acting in it was superb. And it was the same with Ruby's mother. You know, where she fucking is an evil piece of shit because Ruby is obviously not around anymore. But I did love Shooty's reaction and I did love that dialogue. No, you don't. You know, he was trying to convince her, no, you're not this person. I know.
I can see why you get upset because he knows
like
it.
That. And I like the fact that he did get upset. But then as soon as he dropped the line, I know how it feels to be a doctor, I was done. I'm done anyway because he's still flogging this timeless child nonsense. Listen,
any Jodie references need to stop
right?
now.
But that came from Moffat, though.
The Doctor was born on Gallifrey, was not kidnapped and brought to Gallifrey and tortured. The Doctor was born on Gallifrey. Now get that.
I thought that at the time. He wasn't a doctor. He was born there.
Right?
Yeah,
nobody gives a flying fuck about the timeless child. Nobody wants it. Right? So listen, right? The Doctor was born on Gallifrey. End of story.
Yes, but he was supposed to be adopted.
Not abused, was not experimented on. Absolutely rubbish. And you are still fucking flogging that. Right? And that alone is enough for fans to walk away anyway, because you keep putting that in. And referencing Flux as well. I mean, are you seriously, man? Are you actually trying to destroy your own era before it's even begun? Because you're doing a very good job. You are. You're doing a very good job, right? Because it's proven already. The ratings have already hit the floor before even Shooty starts. The ratings have hit the floor. God love that man. God love him. It's gonna be the same scenario again, except Jodie Whittaker was unlikable and she came out with a lot of shite, so it was easy to kind of go after her. But Shooty doesn't do that shit. Shooty seems fucking genuine, right? And this is what's gonna be heartbreaking, right? You've got a decent fucking actor. We've gotten a decent actor in since Peter fucking Capaldi, and now you're gonna screw him over because of woke politics and identity and all of this other gender crap, right? It doesn't belong in Doctor Who anyway. As I said, this isn't a biology class. This is a sci-fi show. It used to be an intelligent sci-fi show, right? I hate when people say, oh, Doctor Who's a drama. A drama. It's not a drama. It's a sci-fi show. It's a sci-fi show first, right? And this is what I hate. When they say, oh, Doctor Who's being nominated best drama of 2020. No, it's not a drama. It's a sci-fi show. And if you can't say sci-fi show, then don't quit. It's not a drama, right? Nobody wants to see all of that fucking shite in Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who isn't a drama, right? It's supposed to have action, fucking sci-fi, space battles, fucking science, right?
I mean, it has drama elements in it, but it was always branded sci-fi drama first.
Yeah. Yeah. They should be
whenever the two
concentrating on
films
winning
were put
Hugo
together, it was
Awards,
always
not
sci-fi
BAFTAs.
first.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be concentrating on winning Hugo Awards, not BAFTAs. Really.
But it's also like you said, that adoptive thing, because I agree with you. That was good acting, but even I was a bit taken back. I was just like, why are you so overtly
that was in Moffat,
referencing timeless child here. Like, you're not doing it a little bit.
Child,
Do you know why I think he's doing it? I'll tell you why I think he's doing it. Like what he's doing for the trans community. It feels like he has to defend Chibby's because him and Chibby's are friends. You know, everybody thought that RTD, including myself, thought we pissed off with Chibs for what he did. But it looks like he's not. They even did that. The three showrunners came together and did that fucking YouTube, that fucking interview thing, and they were praising each other and patting each other on the back and fucking, you know. So he probably felt like he has to defend his mate, and this is why he keeps references it. Look, as soon as Chibs turns around and says he'll ignore what I did, right?
I don't know why he feels like. I don't know why he feels he has such a strong need to defend his mate, because Chibnall never had any regard for any of the stuff that he written. So why is he protecting him?
Chibnall could chuck your stuff out the window. But here's the other thing that I was like, why are you doing this? It was a really, like, when it comes to the story aspect, it was for that link, I think, of, oh, he's a foundling, she's a foundling. There's a bit of a link there.
Yeah,
but
I can get where he's coming from.
Yes.
Look, I agree with you. It does make logical sense, but when
it makes sense in that instance, if he keeps mentioning it later on, then it'll be silly.
No, this is my point. You could have done that same idea with him just saying, I haven't got a family, because that's been established for a lot of New Who now. The Doctor sees himself as not having a family biological anymore because he's lost them. So that could have been your link there. And he even had like a line before that, a very sort of, when she said, oh, have you got a family? And he went, no, and then carried on. Like, that was a very Doctor thing to sort of quickly address it and then move on. That's all he needed to do, was just to have that link of, I don't have any close relatives left. Oh, she doesn't technically have any blood relatives because she's a foundling. That's all he needed to do. But to then be so like, I'm adopted.
I get what, Glenn, I get what you're saying. Maybe the Doctor started off as an orphan doll. That's how I saw it. And that's fair enough. But the thing about it is, when you actually know the whole history of the show, like we all do, including yourself, Glenn, we know that's bullshit. It's already been well established that the Doctor was from Gallifrey, born on Gallifrey, had a family, wife and kids. That was all confirmed in the show over the years. You can't just suddenly change it because, you know, because we're living in a more progressive.
Well, all that still happened, but it was just how it happened. Like, it didn't. That wasn't like, it wasn't just that. He added something else right underneath it that kind of affected all of that. That was the big problem with it all. Like, that was why we all hated it, wasn't it? It didn't, because it keeps saying, it adds to the line. It doesn't add to it. It completely reinvents it. You've got like a whole house, and you've got the whole foundations underneath the house have been took out and replaced. That's what it was about. So yeah, he did have his family still on Gallifrey, but it wasn't like he was born in, and it was just that. Like, no, he had to come from somewhere else in some alternate universe. Then he was shat out on some slab under a black hole, and then found and then tortured and killed over and over by a very sick woman. And then once they sent him out on jobs,
and that's why fans
dirty work. And then when they were sick of him, they brought him back and said, "Oh well, we're sick of you now. Oh, you've done what we needed. We'll reborn you. You will be reborn, and then you become the Doctor."
When you get something like that the fans have already said they don't like, right? Why you would double and triple down on that? Because didn't he first say in an interview when he first came back, he said that he wouldn't address.
Yeah, and I think he said, "Oh, it's addressed a little bit in the specials." He was very sort of flippant.
Yeah, he was subtle about it. He said it wouldn't be the main
focus or like something like that.
It would be addressed in some fashion, which is fine. Again, I'm open to that if it explains it away. You know, if he was able to explain, well, it's not true. The Doctor was born in Gallifrey. This was all made up by. Do you know what? He could have retconned this very easily, right? By using the toy maker to do it.
Well, I think a lot of people say he has with the whole "I made a jigsaw of your life." Did you like it?
Yeah, but now he hasn't, has he? With that line.
Yeah.
Well, he mentions it again, but I don't know. It's just
look. The bottom line is that look. obviously we'll see what happens in spring. But I have to be honest, and I'm just being honest with you guys. I cannot get, or I'm not buzzing or optimistic about the future.
Alright.
Nor am I.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
But you know, but I want you to understand. I didn't want to be like this.
Oh yeah, again, that's the thing. It doesn't come from a place of hate. You know, you want to love it.
I do, but I just can't get look, because I know what he's going to do. And I just can't get me head around it. It's a sci-fi show. It's a family show, you know, and it should have family themes. And I don't believe that the trans ideology or all the other stuff that he's trying to push into the show belongs in Doctor Who. As you said earlier, Cinnamon, you know, he did shows like, you know, It's a Sin and Queer as Folk and stuff like that. That's great. Go and do it there. You know, and
he can do whatever he wants.
Want to reach. Doctor Who was a specific audience. Again, this whole thing trying to make Doctor Who mainstream, right?
I don't know if it was Jack who said it or someone who said it, but like it was a very, very good point, and it was like, Russell, okay, yes, you are in charge of the show, but it's not your show. It's not your toy. Yeah. You're a steward for the show.
And he's making it his toy at the moment. That's
his problem. Yeah, that's his problem. I said that a little while ago.
Like Queer as Folk, It's a Sin, that is completely yours. You can do whatever the hell you want with that. But this is a 60-year-old franchise, which far greater people than you built it up and did all the hard work to get it where it is. You know, you can't just, no, I mean, shit on that, effectively.
I'm not saying he is. He's not. He clearly isn't. But he does have this ego where he believes now because he's in charge, he can basically do what he wants with it. But that's the wrong attitude to have. You're only a custodian. You're to safeguard the show to pass it on to the next person. Now Chibs didn't do that. He didn't hand it over in a very particularly healthy state. So when RTD came in, his job was to try and re-establish the show as a popular entity. Has he done that?
I always say the show is a bit like the UK. Anyway, it has an unwritten constitution. There were always rules. It was always a thing. There was just certain things you never did. You know, like the whole point of the show is that it's Doctor Who. You know, you never answer that question because then what is the point?
Moffat teased it, but never did answer the question. That was the whole point.
You can tease it. Teasing it's fine. To around it.
Everybody was
downright giving an explanation and saying, "Oh well, there you go. You built the whole of Gallifreyan civilization and the whole lore of it, and the whole reason that Time Lords exists is because of you." Well, doesn't that just dumb down the character? Okay, I know I don't want to get too tracked on Time's Child again, but it's stuff like that.
Then teases.
Get rid again. It's like I said earlier. Get rid of this whole bloody Time Child of Destiny stuff. Stop having the Doctor in these like universe-ending, show-altering storylines. Just get to basics. If you want any sort of chance of like actually having any success, go back to basics. Keep it traditional. But
traditional today is a dirty word, Cinnamon.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's become a dirty word. Like they're trying to erase everything that is traditional, and they want to give you this new outlook on society and life. Which
I mean, the changing traditions, the changing costumes. I mean, it didn't bother me that much, but it was unnecessary. Like, can you just have him in that orange leather coat? And that looks like a fantastic costume. I really like that one. Why can't you have that? And then I think for the next episode, because I think that takes place afterwards. But like, why has he got a leather jacket on? Why has he got like it looks like a biker in one costume? Why does he have to constantly change? I was going to
say, it looks like to me.
Why does Davros have to change? Why does everything have to change?
Because it's Russell. Like, it looks like to me maybe because right at the end when he had that line in the TARDIS saying "I'm the Doctor," he had a different top, but he still had the leather coat.
Yeah.
So
I get little variations like that are fine.
Well, that's what
I like the one in the club as well where you had the hat on the fedora. That looked good. But it was I was going to say, I've got a feeling maybe that coat's going to be one of the few things that he keeps, but there's other things that will change with it. Like I think there's another one as well, the yellow version, the sort of stripy the kind of top he had, not the cardigan looking one, the one they had for the majority of the episode. There's a yellow version of that, I think, in the next season. There's a sort of, and I think even in Doctor Who magazine they kind of like talked about that as like the default costume, but like just have it as the same one. Yeah, we all know the Doctor's got a wardrobe, but like this is Doctor Who. That's the quirk of it. That's the ironic, like hypocritical thing that he's got a huge, massive wardrobe that he never uses. It was the running gag that Donna even said in Partners in Crime. Oh, you're still in the same suit. Well, yeah, that's just, and he doesn't even address it. He's like, well, and he's just, that's what the Doctor is. He's just that kind of bloke. He's just like, yeah, he's got a massive costume, but he'll always wear the same suit or a slightly different variation of it. Doesn't need to change.
Yeah.
Just change him for changing's sake. It's the thing with the bi-regeneration thing. Okay, did it need to happen? Not really. If he took it out, would it make that much of a difference? No, not really. It was literally done for shock value, and just because Russell had an idea. Oh, well, I've always wanted to have the Doctor to meet the next one. Well, okay, but again, it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen. Lots of things didn't need to happen.
It happened because he wanted Shooty in the episode, and he couldn't think of a more creative way to do it. So he just was like, I'll make up regeneration type.
Yeah.
That's what it was. There was no setup for it. It was just complete and utter on the whim. I'll make this happen in the episode by regeneration.
Yeah. Going back to what you're saying, though, Cinema, just very quickly about what you said about the whole timeless children thing, and then he started teasing Lungbarrow in the Flux specials. It's like, what the hell is chipping along? Seriously.
Yeah. Too clever for his own good.
Yeah, too clever coming off as stupid. Yeah,
like I'm not a writer, but like if it was me, like I would just I'd be innovative. I'd do what I'd like to do. I'd like tell my story.
Yeah,
but like I would protect the show. I wouldn't change anything that came before. I would be innovative because considering they keep saying the show is so progressive, they're very keen on changing the past.
Yeah,
how about they're going to the future and doing new stuff? Why is the constant need to change what's happened before?
Yeah, I know. It's just gobbledygook back to front and topsy turvy and upside down now. I mean, they've caused
left is right, down is up, and green is blue.
It's like we expected Russell to kind of come and right the ship, give us more coherent stories, but he's just got to make it even worse. More back to front and upside down, topsy turvy. It's like, my God, what is it now? He'll be a traveling dental floss salesman soon. Oh. Telling you dental floss through time and space.
Anyway, I will get you to give me because to be fair, obviously I've given out my rating. I've had me rant. I've had very strong opinions, of course, as you all know. A few people not happy with that, but don't give a shit. As I said, nobody's going to tell me to relax. At the end of the day, I will give me opinion the way I want to give it, and that's the end of it. Everybody else is entitled to give their opinion on here.
What do people want you to do? What do they want you to lie?
But at the end of the day, they're friends, and they liked it. As I said, fair play to you. It wasn't for me, right? But we will get everybody to rate it because that's what we do on here. So Cybermat Strikes gives it a 7 in the chat. So if you do put it in the chat, I'll put your rating up for the Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road. So we will start with the Queen.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because I'm also thinking back to what I gave the 60th specials.
Well, I think he gave some of them a 7 and a 7.
I'm sort of thinking 7, and I'm trying to see how much I can justify either up or down.
But this is how you should judge it. Think of the 3 specials that we got, right? And think of the ratings that you gave them, and then kind of then say to yourself, well, was this better than the 3 specials that I rated? And if so, which special? And then rate it that way, I think would probably be the best way to do it. Is a hard one to rate, though, isn't it? If because while some people did enjoy some good moments, and there were 1 or 2 moments I did enjoy it myself, I'm not going to lie, but I do think it's going to be a hard one for people to rate. I've got to be honest. I think it's either.
I think I gave Star Beast like a 6 or 7, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you gave that a 6 or a 6.5.
But I enjoyed this so much more than Star Beast, so I'm sort of going off that now.
Raymond gives it.
I'll give this an 8 because, like I said, I can't change what I felt when I was watching it. I even watched it again today, sort of without the thing of watching it on Christmas Day just to see. And I enjoyed it again when I watched it today. Sort of it has its own thing, trying to see if I was just overexcited or I don't know. Yeah, for me, it's an 8, but it's not. It's very much an 8 because of what I think this needed to do, and I think this needed to be not a dead complex plot. To be honest, it's a Christmas special. It needed to just have sort of the main villain force that is your usual thing to defeat a baddie, basically. I think the priority here, and this is what I think for me was done quite well, was let's meet Ruby. Let's get a vibe of Ruby. Let's see what her backstory is a little bit. You saw the family, you saw sort of that sort of personality that she's quite tough, but she can sort of be quite sort of like when she got told on the phone, no, we haven't found anything, she got emotional, she got upset. So she's sort of got that combination at the moment to me of being tough and a little bit snarky, but actually being quite sort of like, I don't know if emotional is the right word. Like, she's not just a complete and utter, I'm a tough girl, that's all I am. You can see she can get affected by stuff. She can feel, she can get knocked by stuff. And you sort of saw her, the scene at the end when she was trying to work out, God, he said Houdini and he said time, what did he mean? So she is sort of one to think as well, which is nice to see in a companion.
Yeah, she didn't just sort of blindly run in the TARDIS without really thinking.
She's thinking for herself. She's trying to work stuff out by herself. For me, Shooty was this sort of adventuring doctor again, which I wanted to see. He was charming. He was sort of, like I said, really active. He was always running, looking, trying to save the day. He wasn't one to sort of stand back.
Well, I'm glad we got a doctor that's running again.
We've sort of got that action hero again, which is what I wanted.
That can actually run as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Do you remember
Nice
Joe
quote blowing in the background
playing in what was it? Spyfall. That was fucking. That was funny.
Yeah. Imagine her trying to do that roof scene. That would have been funny. But then at the end, I like that fact that he actually stopped himself, and he actually thought, no, am I the bad luck? Am I actually going to do her more harm by inviting her and getting involved in her life more than I already have? And to sort of have that doubt for a minute with a doctor, with a companion. And for me, I didn't want Shooty just to be a carbon copy. And for me, I saw little bits that, no, he's not a carbon. He's actually doing his own stuff with this character again. And the chemistry, Bobby said, I think these two have got the beginnings, anyway, we'll see, of a really good dynamic, a back and forward. I
agree with the chemistry. I even said that when I was doing the watch along. They definitely have chemistry, and you could see in the tells.
It's like that bickering they did in bits, and that, like I said, her sort of being snarky with him and him being snarky back, and that sort of stuff. And you can see already he's really protective of her, which I like. He cares. He when he realised she'd been taken, he was very sort of, oh God, I need to save her. So to actually have a doctor show care towards a companion, I shouldn't be saying this, but considering what's gone before, it's lovely to see. So yeah, I will give this an 8, but very much an 8 for what it was, and the fact that this was a special, it was Christmas, and it was the first episode of a new era. Very much with those things in consideration, I will say.
Okay, 8 from Queen Charlotte. I won't ask PD because PD hasn't watched it, so it won't be fair to ask him for his rating, but I will ask Cinnamon.
I think I was initially going to say 6 there, but I think after hearing what Charlotte said, I think I have to probably bump it up to a 7. I think I agree. There's a lot of promising moments that I did like. A lot of it I did like. Again, I know I said earlier that I think I preferred the giggle, and I think I still stand by that. Yeah, I mean, it was a Christmas. It was never going to be too. It did what I think. Now I think I realise now. It did what it needed to do in terms of introduced a new Doctor and a new companion, basically setting up the sort of the building blocks, I guess, of the new era. We never anything going to be too chaotic or anything too, deep. Like I think the thing, like I just giggle, and obviously I see that as a much stronger episode. It's more of a finale. It's a big climax. That was getting rid of that was kind of the whole regeneration story in that as well. Or is this? I think this is sort of a new beginning. Again, yeah. A lot of it I did like. So yeah, I'd probably say a 7. I think that's probably about fair for me. I think.
Right, we got a couple of other people in the chat as well. 7 from Bobby there. We got Raymond who's given it an 8. Easily
No,
pleased.
he's commenting on my score there.
Oh, okay. 5 is being generous. I gave it a 0. Just want you to know to start. I'm not rating this episode. No, I think the Doctor Who will still go on past 2 seasons. This won't fail. I love your optimism, but I'm not as optimistic as yourself, Glenn. Got to be honest. I think this is going to crash and burn. I think, 3 episodes in a season, if it's 4th season, we will know how bad or good this show has been received. It always takes 3 episodes. Remember, 3 episodes into the Jodie era, everybody tuned out. So
I think you wouldn't judge David Tennant's era based on the Christmas Invasion, because then it probably wouldn't be a very great one.
Exactly. So you have to give him
4 and 3 are the pinnacle of his era.
So we give him a chance, but has he been given the best chance? Is what I would say. If 10 is pinnacle, then 9 must be excellent. 8 very good. 7 good. Well, look, as I said, everybody's entitled to their rating and what they rate. If you didn't like it like me, and I gave it a 0, you're entitled to do that. Obviously, Charlotte did like a lot more than what I did, and so did Cinnamon. And, that is allowed. I mightn't agree with them. In fairness, I've made it clear I don't agree. But at the end of the day, they're entitled to their own opinion. And in fairness, everybody has different tastes and stuff like that. It's just, I just feel, and I'll say it again, I just feel like a lot of fans are going to set themselves up to be disappointed again. And I just don't want you to be disappointed again. But it's not my business to fucking convince us not to do this, that, and the other. It's at the end of the day, he's got his own free will, his own minds, and some people will look, this episode was like Marmite, right? You either loved it or you hated it. And that's what I'm seeing from social media. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground here. It's either you loved it or you hated it.
And I think Russell wrote it with that in mind, honestly. I don't think he wanted any middling reviews. He either knew people were going to absolutely hate this thing, or they were going to actually...
Yeah, exactly. I do agree with you there on that point. I do think he just wrote it, and whoever liked it, and whoever didn't. It's as simple as that. And he's already proven that he doesn't care what we think anyway, because he gives it back.
Tough, says tough.
So, look, at the end of the day, as we said, we've all got different tastes and opinions on it. I don't think this is Doctor Who in any shape or form. I feel sorry for Shooty. I feel more sorry for Shooty than I do Millie, because, there was a lot expected of Shooty. He's had to take a bit of stick as well, considering, who he is.
I think there's more pressure on him than Millie anyway, isn't there?
Yeah. And there would have been more pressure on him because of what came before. But I don't think RTD has done him any favours right now. But that could all change. As I said.
And I think although he is quite confident in public as well, he's quite I wouldn't say an anxious guy, but he's certainly a guy that, judging by what he says, he's certainly someone who was very, not insecure, but I wouldn't say that either. But he's the type of person who it doesn't matter how many people say, "Oh, he's great." Like he'll always have that kind of voice in his head. Well, what if I'm not though? He seems like he does seem quite humble. I know a lot of people think he kind of comes across as quite arrogant, but judging from what I've seen about him this past year, I think he generally comes off as quite well-meaning.
Raymond is still not happy with the ratings. I mean, he writes, Lauren Standard's Mummy on the Orient Express must be a 15. Actually, Mummy on the Orient Express is a great episode.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Because when you say like something like, "Oh, I'll give this an 8," you think, "Oh, that's really good." But like, I judge it in 8, like, or a 7, on its own. Like, because if I was give Waters of Mars a 10, then a 7 doesn't seem that far behind, doesn't it? Yeah, I think you got to kind of judge it on its own thing. It gets a bit messy when you compare it to others. Because if you give a 10 to this, and you're like, "Oh, you give a 7 to that," that's not that. That's quite close, isn't it?
Bottom line is this: Shooty will get the same courtesy as Whittaker did, right? She got 3 episodes, right, before I made up my mind, right? Well, I kind of made up my mind then. Female Doctor was never going to work anyway, but that's just my opinion. But still gave her 3 episodes. Actually, if you think about it, I gave her 3 fucking seasons, didn't I? Because I kept fucking watching, right? But Shooty will get the same chance. Right, again, I don't think Shooty's the issue here, like Jodie was. I think the issue here is the showrunner, and we've just seen his writing. Remember that we haven't seen anybody else's writing that he's brought in yet, right? So, like, that's to come.
That's still an unknown, yeah, pretty much.
That's what I mean. So we got he'll get 3 episodes like every other Doctor has, Matt Smith was able to convince me after the 11th hour he was the Doctor. Shooty's has already convinced me he is the Doctor. Now RTD must just deliver and give him the scripts that are worthy of his talents. Do I believe that RTD will do that right now? Absolutely not. But I hope RTD proves me wrong. I really do. I want them to prove me wrong. I want to be able to watch this show week in, week out and enjoy it. That's not too much to ask. And it's not as if I'm asking for a complete overhaul of the show either. None of us are.
Exactly.
We're just asking you to go back to fucking
We're
basics.
really not asking for much. We're really not.
That's what I mean. You think we were?
Yeah. Like, we really actually aren't asking for the world here. Like, we just want fucking... Sorry. We really just want like we just want to sit down and be able to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And like be able to come on here and just, like,
okay.
Maybe that is actually asking a bit too
All
much.
right.
Glenn, that's really...
Glenn is at the asking. Right, Glenn.
What a guy, higher racing, Glenn.
Right, you know what, Glenn? I will answer this. Right, you're asking me, right? So everybody knows how I feel about the woman who fell to Earth.
What a question!
Okay, so you've asked the question, I'll answer it. Yes, I would rather watch the woman who fell to Earth.
So would I.
Because at least the woman who fell to Earth had something going for her. Right? Forget about the female Doctor. The story itself wasn't actually that bad, believe it or not. It's not actually a bad story. It's just the fact that Whittaker is so unlikable. To be quite honest with you, I just didn't like Whittaker. I don't like her as an actress anyway. Never have, never will. So she was never going to win me over no matter what. But the woman who fell to Earth, I think, had a lot more going for her than this Christmas special did. So if you're asking me, I would rather watch the woman who fell to Earth. You know, I might actually watch that tonight.
No. Do you want the overnights for a woman who fell to Earth compared to this?
There were 14 million.
8.20 million overnights compared to what we got 4.73. Yeah, it's got double the rating, mate.
Yeah,
double the rating.
I'd rather watch the woman who fell to Earth, and I can't even stand Jodie with it. Right,
high rating.
Right,
I don't think I've actually watched that.
I just want to make it clear, I don't have a problem with Shooty. I think Shooty is going to be an amazing.
He's all right.
But the episode itself was, listen, I'm telling you, that was dire. I hope, do you know what? This is what I hope happens. This reminds me of, right? This reminds me of the way everybody's reacting right now. This is reminding me of The Force Awakens, right? Where everybody thought that was great, right? He's given it a few weeks, few months, you will realise actually how bad this episode was. That's what I believe is going to happen here, right? It's The Force Awakens all over again. These are all being conned, right? These are given something, looks like Doctor Who, resembles Doctor Who in some aspects, but it isn't actually Doctor Who. It will be. I'm telling you. Give it a couple of weeks, couple of months. You will all have a different opinion on this episode. I'm telling you now. You will look back on it and you will say, "Yeah, Roll was right. It was shit."
It's a regurgitated version of Christmas Carol, yeah.
Seriously, there's not. Nah, it's bad, man. It's bad. I'm glad some people enjoyed it, but I just can't get my head around how you were able to enjoy it. I really can't.
I think I didn't even like Christmas Carol.
I got to be just honest with you. I actually can't get my head around how anybody thought that this was good. Really don't.
It's all about how we rationalise it.
Well, as I said, yes, it is. It's all about different tastes and opinions and stuff like that. And I understand that, but I really am baffled. I'm not messing. I have to be honest. I'm baffled.
As baffled as how much people can like.
Because there's no way that this is better than anything that he's done previously. And I'm talking about he's forced there. I'm not talking about the specials that he just recently done. It's not better than anything that he's written in 2005.
That's how I kind of try to think about it. Like I just try to try and think, not how to judge what's come before, and like to not go overboard with it. Well, let's think about this properly. How actually would this stand up against a Christmas Invasion or Runaway Bride? And I thought, well, I'd probably like them more. Like I'd rather watch the Christmas Invasion maybe than this. But again, I have to, it's something to think about. I haven't had that much time to think about, but it's that kind of question that poses to me. Yeah.
But look at the Christmas Invasion, right? Because you brought up Christmas Invasion a couple of times, right? But let's look at the Christmas Invasion.
It depends because
it's not Doctor Heavy, right? They focus on Rose, focus on Mickey, and obviously, what's her face?
That's kind of how I thought, because that episode focuses more on Rose. This episode focuses more really kind of on Millie for a while of it. It introduces Millie's family, and we see a lot of Jackie, and we see a lot of Mickey in that other episode. In that episode, there's a lot. I mean, even the spaceship in the sky. There's a spaceship in the sky in this one. The Doctor ends up on the spaceship, kills the monster. There's a few parallels there, but I think that's kind of why I think I probably compared it, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but in fairness, there's not really. You said there's a few parallels there. I disagree with you again because David Tennant's Doctor fought your man in battle, and then when he won, then he said he wanted him to leave the planet, but then the prick decided that he was going to try kill him. So then the Doctor said no second chances and threw the Satsuma and killed him. He'd already given him a chance.
I said that earlier. Like he could have killed him when he was on the ship the first time, but when it was a threat to Millie's life.
So again, that's what I'm saying. There is a difference there because Shooty's Doctor didn't do that. He just killed the Goblin King, and I'm sorry, but he did just kill the Goblin King, and he might be okay.
But after Millie was in imminent danger, yeah.
But I still don't think it justifies killing the Goblin King.
He didn't have much choice. Unless he materialised the TARDIS onto that ship. Unless he materialised the TARDIS onto that ship, I can't see much.
Clara died. Yeah, Clara died. Okay, Face of the Raven, wherever it's called, right? Died. How did Peter Capaldi's Doctor retaliate? Who did he murder?
Rassilon, wasn't it? He shot Rassilon.
He didn't murder anybody.
No, he didn't shoot Rassilon. Rassilon got kicked off the planet.
Well, he shot someone. He got someone originally. It wasn't kill him.
He shot someone, yeah. And while I don't agree with that scene, by the way, because I think it was out of character.
Well, again, I go back to when he
knew that Time Lord was going to regenerate, so he didn't actually murder the Time Lord because he knew the Time Lord was going to regenerate. That's the difference.
But he also murdered the person in Deep Breath as well. Okay, it was a robot Clockwork Man. Was he actually real? I don't know.
Well, he didn't push him. He didn't think that he pushed him.
All that on that all you want, but
hold on. In that episode as well, we don't know if the Doctor pushed him. It's never actually.
It was heavily. We never saw it.
It's left to the audience to decide whether the Doctor killed the robot man or not. That's the way that scene is set up.
It was, yes, but I think it was heavily implied that he did.
I don't know.
Did he fall himself? Did he push himself off? Did he?
It was implied more with the arc. If you think about what that series did, am I a good man? Why would the Doctor be questioning himself that much if he hadn't have just done something that would make him question his morals?
I think because it was something that Matt, or probably maybe Tennant, but maybe Matt probably wouldn't have done. And I think he was still adjusting to his new body at the time. He's like, well, is this really me now?
Did you think the church needle going into the Goblin King was very graphic for Doctor Who? Kind of shocked me, lol. Well, again, that whole scene I have a problem with, because as far as I'm concerned, from what I see, the Doctor murdered someone in cold blood. And the justification for it, even though Cinnamon is given a justification for it, and he's entitled to that justification, I don't agree with that justification. Because he's lost companions before, he's had companions in danger before, but he's never went out and explicitly murdered someone in cold blood like he did with the Goblin King. And he didn't give the Goblin King a chance like he did with other species before, right? So I have a problem with that scene, absolutely.
He didn't give him a warning, per se, but they had the ample opportunity to leave, and he didn't.
Yeah, they retaliated by going to get Ruby.
Everything was fine until they took Millie, and everything cracked and everything changed.
He allowed them to go, and then as soon as they took Millie, that was when he had to go back. He had to save her. That was his priority. That was a doctor going, right, I need to save Millie. I've got a 10-second time frame here to do it. I've not brought my TARDIS, and I just have to do what I can. It was very much a doctor, to me, being very like, I need to quick decision. I need to save Millie. And
also, he couldn't have materialized on the ship anyway, because I don't think he knew it was there at the time, right then in that moment, did he?
And also, he knew what the goblins doing. They were eating children. Like, he knew what their MO was.
I think it comes across a bit inconsistent, because when he's singing and dancing, having a good time in front of him, and then kind of kills him later. I think I get that, because I think that dance scene did go on a bit too long. But it's one of them things, isn't it?
Again, it's gonna be. See, this is the thing, I suppose, with the RTD era. He's gonna give us plenty of content and plenty of stuff to talk about, stuff that we'll agree with and stuff that we'll disagree with, and not, be on part. But that's the whole point. This is why I love doing these streams, because we always don't agree, but I don't like that scene. I think it was undoctory, to be quite honest with you. I get where you are coming from, but I cannot use that logic to justify the Doctor murdering in cold blood. I'm sorry, but that's fair enough. Everybody is different. He could have guessed he killed the king.
He couldn't have guessed, Garbage said.
He couldn't have guessed.
I think that's what I said. He knew the needle was going to go through the ship. That was the point. But did he know it was going to go directly into him?
Of course he did.
I know he's a big... Well... You say that, but can you rationalise it in thinking that as well? Because you could do it both ways on that as well.
He had to kill the Goblin King, though. If you're looking at the way.
Well, if he killed one goblin, then he didn't kill the rest.
His priority. His priority in that moment was the baby's on the ship. I need to get the ship down. I need to stop the ship.
Because you could say, well, why couldn't he just run quickly back to the TARDIS and then go back on the ship? Well, in Aliens of London, when Rose said, "Oh, can't you just use your TARDIS? He's part of events now." I personally don't see quite how we can't pop into one place and another. But that's their own rules. But I can't imagine that Russell was thinking at the time, probably. But
sometimes the Doctor can directly influence. Am I going to kill this villain? Yeah. But I think there's also been incidents when the Doctor just has to be the hero, has to save the day, has to do something to that. So he just has to do the quick sort of, right, this is going to means to end. He had to get the ship. He had to get Millie safe. Oh, sorry, Ruby.
Yeah.
Because I suppose what would happen if Millie did die, would that affect the web of time? Would that have even bigger consequences?
Well, the whole of society, the whole world would have been a miserable bunch of cunts according to.
Pretty much.
Torn miserable.
I still don't get that, by the way. Like, why was she so cold? Like, just Millie not being there, just change her entire personality. Because when I was watching that, I did think, well, was this how she was when she first started doing it, and then she grew to love it later on, or something? And I thought, well. Why? I mean, maybe I know there's a commentary on it. Maybe Russell will talk about it there, but I don't know. I thought that was a bit.
I am not listening to any commentary Russell's doing.
I thought, well, maybe is it something the Goblins did? Did they make people cold and like nasty and just like bitter?
Just word explained.
Or am I just like wishful thinking that? You know, that's probably the darkest the episode got.
Well, he's got a big job, RTD, in 2024
He's got a very big job.
To win over this fandom, because I can fucking tell you now, so far you haven't impressed as far as I'm concerned. If I was to rate everything that he's done out of 10 so far, and I mean everything including the specials, the 60th, I would have to give it a big fat 2. And he only gets the 2 for Shooty's casting and bringing Dana Tennant back. That's it. Even Catherine Tate was kind of annoying. She got kind of good, the old Donna that we knew near the end, I suppose. But I didn't like Charlotte. I didn't kind of like this version.
No, she wasn't Donna like we remembered. She was too self-important again, too snappy, too quick to judge.
Well, Daniel's not happy. Russell is a donkey. I mean,
yeah, he's got a big job.
I've never been heard of called a donkey, but that's a good one. RTD is a scumbag, in my opinion. Jesus, Daniel has very strong fucking feelings there.
Daniel, and if anybody would have those views, mate, it would be you after the stuff he did.
He says you won't be proven wrong. RTD is a loony. I've not been conned. I've been out since children in need.
Same as.
So there you go. I think they just dropped something there. Hold on, just saw something pop up on my screen there.
They dropped it over
Ballstruck has released his review, by the way. So
yeah.
Don't watch him after I leave. Obviously, don't fuck off now. Wait. I'll screw off then. Please wait. We'll not finish yet. Yeah, this has been 4 poor episodes so far. This is garbage. Under RTD, Donna was Clara 2.0, says Chris Persia. That's a good point, actually. The ship did disappear, says Bobby D 75. Bringing Tennant and Donna back was bad, says Shane. Well, there was a reason why he did bring them back, because he was trying to get the audience on board. But then when you go and do Davros Gate and do that, then like you're not like he shot himself in the foot so many times. Like, you know, all RTD had to do was just keep his mouth shut, write whatever he was writing and release it. But he couldn't help himself. So he's put a lot of negativity on it himself. It's not even Shooty that's coming out with stuff that was saying, shut up, Shooty. It's not him. It's the fucking showrunner this time.
Totally out of control, yeah.
Right? Someone needs to rein him in. Say, listen here, Russell. Right? We get it. You're the big cheese around here. Right? But, you know, you've got to kind of rein it in a little bit, because you're being an arrogant piece of crap. And you're turning the fans off. Right? And the fact that he keeps, attacking anybody that has anything negative to say. I mean, listen, you're a showrunner, you're a producer, you're a writer. If you're not used to criticism now, you're in the wrong fucking industry.
You'd think he'd have thicker skin, given his
life he's had.
Given the life he's had.
He doesn't have thick skin. He doesn't. He's a big baby.
No, if someone's faced prejudiced as much as he has, apparently, you'd think he'd have it, built in him to have, take people's opinions. People don't like your stuff. People don't like it. It's not everyone's taste, but
Anyway, Safe Space who that's on Twitter. So they put up in terms of RTD's companion intros. Which companion do you think was introduced the best? And they put Rose up, obviously. Martha Jones, Donna Noble, and of course Ruby Sunday or whatever the fuck her name is. The best companion reveal for me was definitely Rose.
Probably agree.
You can't beat that one, even though I like Tennant, even though I like Tate. And I did like Martha's introduction as well, but I thought Rose, that was the perfect episode. That was the perfect companion episode, in my opinion. Now, it's aged a bit badly now because of the bad CGI and stuff like that. But in terms of writing and introducing, doing what Charlotte said earlier, an episode to do exactly what it says on the tin sort of thing, to introduce a new companion. I think Rose did it best, to be quite honest with you. Because remember, partners in crime, Tate was already introduced in The Runaway Bride, so you can't really count that.
Yeah, and even in that one, she was kind of just thrown in.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, I did like Martha Jones's introduction, but it's not Rose, Billy Piper playing Rose. That was the best companion introduction story, in my opinion.
Because she was kind of the protagonist of that episode, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's why it worked. That's honestly why it worked so well. He just was like, I'm going to have
Millie
the
kind of was
doctor.
for like 15 minutes, but like, yeah, even that one, she quite important to that episode. I mean, literally named after her.
Yeah, this felt like a bit of a halfway house. Like he wanted to do Rose, but then he wanted to have Shooty as well. It's like he couldn't quite decide which one.
Yeah, I think probably because Rose didn't have to have a, but I suppose this one didn't either. But like Rose was the first time we saw Chris, whereas we did see regeneration with Shooty obviously in the last one. So that's probably kind of why, I guess.
So Disney is testing Doctor Who episodes and handing notes to Russell T Davies and his team. Hardly just the US distributor scenario. The show's regular gang of shills and apologists have been regurgitating after a steady diet of BBC press releases. This constitutes creative input. So Disney do have creative input into Doctor Who. So when they told us at that press conference that Disney was only the distributor and would only be financially supporting the show, they're actually handing notes to RTD and his team, and RTD and his team are complying. So, yeah, another lie. So, I mean, they made such a big deal that Disney wasn't, because everybody was concerned about that. And now they're just openly coming out now and saying, yeah, it's happening. I mean, this is why we're in the situation we're in. Disney is not going to allow RTD to do the Doctor Who. Listen, no matter what I say about RTD, do I believe he's as progressive as he's making himself out to be? No. I do think Disney are influencing, but I think he has no problem doing it because of the money he's been given. And he is quite progressive himself. We do know that. We've always known that about RTD, it being progressive. We've never actually had an issue with his progressiveness because his writing has always been, well, it's been decent. Let's be honest. It hasn't been shy. Yeah. Like, if you compare the writing to back then to now, I would have to say, I don't know what's happened. How can you standard of writing? Forget about the other shows he's done, but how can your standard of Doctor Who back in 2005 be better than the standard that you're producing today in 2023? And they're questions that have to be actually answered and asked.
Some people just
become worse. Now, the trailer, very little sci-fi, but there was a very, very long look between the Doctor and the man. I know, I saw that. We know what's happening there. Jesus Christ, the man's going to be flirting with the Doctor. And I know what's happening, man.
Well, you shout at him.
Right. And again, I just want to point out the fact, right, you all know I'm a huge supporter of gay, lesbian, and bisexual people on this channel. You know I have no issue there, but this is just blatant fucking wokeness being inserted into Doctor Who. And the thing about it as well, right? Ask yourselves this: is it appropriate for a family TV show to be highlighting same-sex relationships and drag queens and all of that? It's like it's a family sci-fi show. Have we forgotten? As I said, if this was It's a Sin or Years and Years and stuff like that, or Queer as Folk, there'd be no issue here. Right? But this is Doctor Who. It's a sci-fi show. So this stuff has no, I'm sorry, it doesn't. Right? They did it with Captain Jack, and it was done perfectly. It was done properly as well, by the way. And Jack, I mean, he's probably, if you look at it, of all the LGB characters that we have in Doctor Who, I say Captain Jack is probably the most developed character out of all LGB characters that we've ever had on the show, because obviously we got Torchwood as well. And we got a little bit more background into Jack's life. Do you know, the issue isn't LGBTQ plus characters. The issue is the lack of fucking character development and decent fucking dialogue for these people. Jack, I mean, John Barrowman is still loved to this day because of Captain Jack. It's a role that means a lot to him, and it means a lot to a lot of fans as well. And nobody gave a fuck that Jack.
This is why I'm so worried. I'm not worried, but this is why I really hope. I mean, I don't see them bringing him back, unfortunately, but I hate that they won't, because at the end of the day, like I said before, whatever happened, well, I say whatever, nothing happened. It was an inside joke that people nowadays find offensive, but all that kind of jokery and camaraderie that happened under Russell's stewardship. He was in charge. He was the showrunner at the time. So it's a bit convenient now, isn't it? It's funny how now he's a problem, and now Russell won't bring it back, even though whatever happened when he was there. Same with Noel Clarke as well. Obviously, I know Noel Clarke expressly wished he won't come back, but
yeah. I'm so sorry. I need to go, everybody. So I'll see you guys later on in the week for Classic. I'm guessing
Sunday we'll be back normal. Yeah, so I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, me too as well. I've got to shoot off. I'm gonna watch Turn Left with my girlfriend. So.
Great.
Yeah. So
great.
have a good Christmas, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed your day and you got some good time with your family. So I'll see you all soon. Love everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
See ya, Charlotte.
Yeah, same with me as well. I best shoot off now. Otherwise, I am in the doghouse. She wasn't. Well, I introduced her to it literally about a couple of months ago, and she's quite enjoyed it, actually. We're on series 4 now, like I say, Turn Left. And she likes David. It's a shame she doesn't know that he's going to die in a few episodes. But
don't do that.
Well.
She's not watching this now, I don't think.
Yeah, go.
I won't tell her. Because I want to keep the surprise for her. Because that's how it was for me. Because when I saw David regenerate, that was a surprise for me, because I was too young at the time to really be reading like internet or anything like that. So I didn't know about Matt Smith at the time. So it was quite a big surprise for me. But she likes it. She's a fan. I've always wanted to do that, to turn someone into a fan. I'm contemplating whether we skip the Jodie, but I probably can't, because I want to rewatch that anyway. Actually, because the only Jodie Whittaker episode I've actually ever rewatched was The Power of the Doctor. I've only ever seen the other ones on the night it came out, so maybe it's time for a refresh to see what how I think of The Woman Who Fell to Earth now. God, not looking forward to that, but yeah, doing God's work, innit? Yeah, that's what it is. Pass it on. But yeah, thanks, folks. Thanks for having me on. No, always appreciate it.
Not a bother, pal. Not a bother.
And just quickly, I think I've getting a new laptop soon, so possibly finally getting my backside in gear and doing my own streams, maybe. But who knows?
It'll be great because
I ordered one of Very, but then they cancelled it on me because my credits wasn't high enough. So I don't know. But I've got another one. I think I might be getting another one now. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But thank you very much for bringing me on. Always a pleasure. Hello, everyone. With the chat. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I'll probably see you in the new year now as well. Watch them all in order with stories if you don't like. Yeah, I can do. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Love you all, and I'll see you later.
Have a good one. Anyway, I see Lee there was having a bit of a joke there about PD. Well, PD didn't watch the episode, but I have him on the panels anyway because he's part of the original crew. So, we brought him on to kind of keep us all from going at each other, because I was a bit very fucking let's just say agitated at the start.
Oh yeah, bloody hell you are.
Strain, because I'm just sick of people of accepting the mediocre shite that we're getting. I mean, again, I'll just say I'm baffled that some people believe, I just don't see where this gets any better.
Oh yeah. I did try telling you, and you
It doesn't matter. I don't mind having you on, but now that you are on, we've gone 3 hours, so I'll go another 10 minutes or so. But is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah,
my Doctor Who drama audio. I will. I'll go and listen to your Doctor Who audio drama, and I'll rate it out of 10 as well. Right? So don't hate the player.
Oh, Dr. Alex's audio drama was probably better than anything we saw. So.
I'll go and check it out. I know you threw it up, Lee, and we have been shared in your channel. Don't worry about that. We still
go see Dr. Alex's as well. He's done a good audio drama.
Yeah, we still. Yeah, the Rabbi has been sending me actually some his audio dramas behind the scenes before he's actually post. So that's been great as well. But I'll rate it out of 10. It better be a 10 now, Lee. Better be a 10. It's the first fucking Doctor, like. So I hope you pull the rabbit out on I'm only messing. I'll go and listen to it. But no, fans, again, got to give it to the fans in this fandom. They're doing a lot of their own Doctor Who, which is great. And I think that's going to be the future, to be quite honest with you, especially after this show gets cancelled, which it will eventually. And then I think the fans will take up the slack and take up the reins, and I think you'll see a lot of fan stuff being made over the wilderness years. I really do. Noel, if you had to pick a best moment from Christmas special, what moment would you choose? It actually have to be Shooty's introduction as the Doctor in the Christmas special. I thought that extra scene that they filmed, even though they only filmed it to get certain people of a demographic in it, but Disney's brief was also, well, you could introduce the Doctor a little bit sooner. I do agree. I think if you had left the Doctor's introduction a little bit later in the episode, I don't think it would have had the same impact. So I'm kind of glad we got to see Doctor. So I did like that whole scene with the police officer. I thought that was actually really cute as well, actually. And when he told him that she's going to say yeah, because you went out and bought the ring now instead of waiting for the January sales or whatever the line was. So for me, that was probably the best moment of the episode, and then it went downhill after that. Seriously, I still baffled how, but again, people have their own thing, but it just wasn't Doctor Who in any way, shape, or form for me. Shane says the end credits. I did like the starting credits, I have to say, which is the same as the end credits as well. But yeah, I don't know, lads. This one is just. This one is just. It's this era that's coming up is going to be a very divisive one. I don't think anybody. I think everybody's going to disagree on things with this era, especially. I think with us all, with Whittaker, we were kind of all universal in our criticism, but you can already see that we've got different opinions when it comes to RTD right now and our criticisms of them, and people's expectations are slightly different to mine and others out there. So it's going to be a very this era is going to be very interesting, because I do believe once everybody actually finally realizes what they actually got. This is as I said, I'll compare this to The Force Awakens. Everybody thought The Force Awakens was great, and it was only after a couple of weeks and months that they realized that they'd actually watched trash.
Well, a repeat. I'll say that, a repeat.
A repeat of A New Hope. So I just think that personally, that's what I think is going to happen. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Ever since Capaldi's last year, well, when is it not the voice of ever since Capaldi's? Yeah, well, fair point there, Lee. I mean, it's never out. It always seems to want to. See, that's the thing as well. The fact that the previous showrunner and this showrunner believe that Doctor Who has to be controversial, because even Millie has come out and said that this season coming up will be controversial. I mean, why do you want it to be controversial? It's a sci-fi show. Like, I mean, why is it being controversial? Why does it sound like to these people that say it, it's a good thing? Being controversial is not always a good thing, by the way. It can also have a negative impact.
And it is this time.
That's what I mean. So, how you know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from, PD. I mean,
Yeah,
say
exactly.
something. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you want it to be controversial? You know what I mean? You're trying to win
It
fans.
depends the sense of controversial. And Russell's going for the kind of current ear, current politics, current this version of controversial. It's not the one. People are sick of it. Quite frankly, are sick of it. And that's why it's failing. Pretty much. It can be controversial and outrageous as you can get the Doctor doing outrageous things and crazy stuff, but this isn't it. It's just current day politics and current day trends. And it's like it's not controversial. That's just controversial all the wrong ways, if you know what I mean, Noel.
Yeah. We started 3 hours ago, Holton. Yeah, I didn't think it'd be this long. But of course we didn't. We have streamed over the Christmas, but I took a day off yesterday, so probably making up for that today. But I'm about to sign off now anyway, because it's getting late. And I've got shit to do because still fucking, Christmas period, still have loads to fucking do. And actually I haven't been, as I knew, as predicted it would happen. I told you that Cheryl was sick over the Christmas, and I told you, watch, I'll be grand, Christmas Day and all of this, but then she'll get better, and guess what will happen? I'll get sick, and guess what's happened? I've gotten sick. So I haven't been well all day today. Believe it or not, I've been in bed most of the day. I only got up to do this stream, but yeah, I've been in bits the last couple of days. So that's why I didn't stream the Man United match yesterday. Man United were playing, and I was supposed to be on the other channel, but I didn't do a stream last night because I was very poorly. So I haven't been well, like. But I knew that was going to happen because as soon as someone gets sick in the house, that's what happens. I end up being all right all the way through, and then I get sick then right at the end, and I'm worn out as well. So I probably have done myself no favors getting all agitated as I did earlier on, but fuck it. I'm just trying to make people see that she's being conned again. But look, it's not up to me.
Don't worry, I know we're being conned.
Right. I've been eating 3-day-old turkey and a curry. Yeah, well, I cooked me turkey, had the dinner. It was horrible. I didn't actually enjoy my Christmas dinner this year. It's the first time I've made Christmas dinner where I was absolutely disappointed. The next day, then, I did more of the turkey that we got. Had another dinner that was slightly better than the one before, but then after I had that little bit of turkey, the turkey that was left, I threw out. I threw everything out, actually. I threw everything out. I threw out my homemade stuffing. I threw out me bacon, fucking stuffing things that I'd made. Threw out me turkey. The only thing that got plastered in this house was the ham. But yeah, eating Hello Fresh is real turkey for me now because I couldn't hack it. So I didn't overindulge over the Christmas. I actually probably ate less over the Christmas than I've done all year. That's probably the first Christmas that I have not enjoyed my Christmas dinner. So I actually had a horrible Christmas, believe it or not. But, the bottom line is I don't really care because, 2024 is going to be worse. So, I just roll with it, That's it. But yeah, it's been just mad. Been mad. Get well soon. All that. Thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. I'll be all right, man. I've just run down. I've overextended myself for the last couple of months, thinking that I'm a robot. you know, but it catches up, and that's why I took the break last night. What day? I don't even know what day it is tomorrow. Thursday, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. We normally do the movie zone, but I'm not doing the movie zone tomorrow, so I'm just letting you know straight out. I'll be taking tomorrow off. I'll be back on Friday, obviously. We'll just talk whatever. I think PD will be with me anyway, so we'll talk. There's a couple of things that have happened in Hollywood and stuff like that. We'll talk.
Oh, I said you something earlier. It's interesting.
Yeah. We have a turkey crown. Yeah, I like the turkey crown, and I normally get a bone and roll, deboned and rolled turkey. But this year I decided to buy a whole turkey, which I will not be doing ever again, because as I said, it was fucking horrible. And Tesco, you know, don't want to, you know, cause any trouble for you, but I get that you have to kind of slaughter all these birds a couple of months beforehand, but you know, you have been selling rotten turkeys to people because it's been reported in Ireland and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's all over Audi as well.
So yeah, so the quality of the turkeys this year has been pretty piss poor. I honestly believe that they've actually been, during the pandemic, they've been keeping turkeys back, believe it or not, and they've been freezing them and then they're defrosting them and then they're fucking selling them as fresh.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the same company that was allowing fucking horse meat to be in their burgers. Remember?
Yeah. Iceland as well was doing that.
Mate, I will be having as soon as I finish here, I'm gonna try. It'll be the first time I haven't had that to eat today at all because I haven't been able to eat. But she went down and got a few rolls, and one of them looked very inviting. Now, whether I can keep it down or not now is another thing. But she's after getting some sandwich meat, which is not turkey, thanks be to Jesus. And I'll have a roll and see what happens there. But yeah, I will be. I think tonight is just, I'm going to put on the old streaming platform that I have, and I'm going to watch a couple of fucking movies that I didn't get to watch over the Christmas. 2024 sucks, already sucks, and it's not even started. It will be, keep calling it out, but don't let it get you down. I'm just not watching it. Ferrari film looks good, and Godzilla -0 is, yeah, I can't wait for that one to actually, I'm going to be watching the Godzilla one for definite. Ferrari, yeah, I'm into the car racing, so I might take a look at that. It'll be interesting to see the origin. I mean, look, Hollywood stories, they're never fucking exactly what they're supposed to be. They always dramatize certain fucking stuff, obviously, to make it more appealing to us, but it should be decent. I do love biopics and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get PD to do the normal channel shout outs.
Well, it's already done, mate. Already done.
He's been putting the channels in. So I'll just mention a few of them. So we've had Scottish Stavros, Cinnamon, Rabbi from Another Planet, the Gobster. Actually, yeah. Just because obviously Dean is, obviously we won't see Dean until 2024. Just want to give a special shout out to Gobster. Just make sure, yeah. I did say he put up a tweet, I think, a couple of days ago, just to say, but yeah, I just want to give him a special shout out and go and support his channel. We've also got Sean from Nerdaholics as well.
And Brendan's,
Brandon as well, Cinnamon Toast, and of course Lee, Audred Audio Visual, and the problem being are his channels, and actually go and check out his latest audio that he's done, which he has on each channel, and of course our good friend Ballstreck, who just released his review of the church on Ruby Road. So you can all feck off now and go and check him out, and the other channels that I mentioned. Of course, Brendan's channel as well. Yes, we forgot Brendan.
Yep.
We've had Brendan
streaming
on
tomorrow.
We will be getting Brendan on again because he's a very good guest. I do have a couple of new guests lined up for 2024. I have been talking to a couple of people behind the scenes, and one particular YouTuber I'll just mention here on the channel now. and it's the guys over at hold on, because I think the channel is a different name. So just want to make sure that it's actually, because I don't want to make a second idiot of myself. Where is their YouTube channel? Masters of the TDS.
Oh, Gothic Therapy.
Him and his missus have a channel. Now,
Gothic
they've been
Therapy,
saying recently that, that they hardly get any invites onto channels because obviously over the weekend, they're Jewish. So over the weekend, like Rabbi, they take a bit of a break off social media. But a lot of the big streamers that they know don't stream or do their big main streams the weekend. So they never get invites. So I actually had a bit of a word and I said, look, 2024, I'm bringing on some new people. So if you would like to come on. So I just want to give them a special shout out because they've been covering obviously Doctor Who and doing a very good job on covering Doctor Who. And I've also been introduced to all of the J-bots like we have over the last 5 or 6 years. So it's Gothic Therapy is the name of the channel there. You got it. Gothic Therapy. So if you haven't checked them out, they're a couple, husband and wife team. Great YouTubers, and I will have them on in 2024. So stay tuned for that one. I'll let you know when I obviously told them wait till the Christmas period is over and we get into the new year, and then we'll have a chat and organize what day is appropriate for them. And as you know, anyway, I stream most of the week anyway, so it won't be an issue. And I'm talking to a couple of other people as well behind the scenes as well. So I hope to bring on some new guests in 2024 as well, like we used to always do anyway. We were always known for bringing on new people, and it's kind of dried up over the last couple of years, but I'm going to make more of an effort now and try highlight those people that I know are genuine. Of course, we've been burnt so many times on this channel that I think that probably be the main reason why we don't do it as often as we used to. There you go. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for tuning in and watching this. So that's it until March or April. Of course, we will keep you abreast of all of the Doctor Who news that's coming up because, of course, just because the show is not on the air doesn't mean that there won't be any media articles and some stuff that RTD will say, because he'll obviously have stuff to say and stuff like that. So we'll keep you informed. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors flying about as well, guys. So what I'll just say to you is that, take them with a pinch of salt. But, all I'm just going to say is nothing can be as bad as what we've seen right now so far. So I think the rumors are the least of our worries. Here's the 2024 anyway. I'm not going to wish you a happy new year, by the way. I've made this clear. It's no point because, let's be honest, when is it ever a better year than the year before? And it hasn't been in these last few years anyway. I would have to say probably the last decade. We every year has gotten progressively worse. So all I'll just say to you is we will do a New Year's stream, but what I'll say to you is I wish you the best of luck. And that's all I can say, really. I'm not going to say Happy New Year because for most of us it won't be. Because 2024 is the year, I'm telling you, either get out and fight and have your voice be heard, or you're just going to be trampled all over. As simple as that. Because these activists are not going to go down without a fight. They already know the game is up. But they're going to keep fighting. And people like RTD using their entertainment to do it. So, look, I wish you the best of luck for 2024. Let's hope we can meet you all on the other side. 2024. But I want to thank you all again. I will again on New Year's Eve. I just want to thank you all again for the support over this last year. It's meant the world to me. Obviously, there was a point where I'd become very disillusioned with the show, and some years it stuck by me when I stopped talking about Doctor Who. So you guys, especially, I want to say thank you to you guys, because it could have been very easy for a lot of you to walk away. Some did, of course, but they've got their own mind; they can do whatever they want. But to the rest of you that stayed and continue to support me, and you're not just supporting me, you're obviously supporting Cheryl and Teddy, and you're supporting this community and the channel. I just want to thank you all. It's meant a lot. Without you guys, I wouldn't be acting on this platform, and I do know that, and I understand that. So I just want, again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank every single person that supported me, and I want to thank all of my panelists throughout 2023 who have come on.
No worries, no.
Thank you guys for being part of this, and some of you keeping me on the straight and narrow, like tonight. I did get a bit overzealous tonight, but I don't care. I'm pissed. I'm pissed because it's history repeating itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I'll leave it there. Go and watch Bowley. I'm off to watch Bowley now myself, and I'm going to have a laugh. Let's hope I wonder if Professor Dingles is going to be in this video. Probably not, but I'm going to check it out anyway. And then I'm gonna, when I make me sandwich, then I'm going to check out Lee's audio. Now I've got something to actually listen to. So I'm going to listen to Lee's audio after that as well. And then I'll go and tell him what I think if he's writing. Can you imagine? Lee, you're writing a shit, man. What was that, Lee? What was that? What was that, Lee? I mean, what was your? I mean, come on. I wonder what our Lee would actually be like with criticism. I wonder, Lee, can you take criticism? Has anybody criticized your audio yet? Because I can tell you, I'd love to see that. Because I tell you one thing, I could imagine the explosive fireworks. Oh, is it Black Glove Studios, is it? If it's Black Glove Studios you wrote for, then you did the audio for. So I produced it and did the sound design. Well, without the production and the sound design, they wouldn't have it. But it is, it's Black Glove Studios. Yeah, Chris, who is actually Ballstreck's friend as well, who happens to be named Chris as well. Isn't that mad? There you go. Lee, take over the show and drain the swamp. See, Lee would drain the swamp.
Oh, I'd do it as well.
The problem is that Lee would be like me. He'd drain the swamp and then drain it a second time just to make sure that it's drained. And then, and that's when the problem. See, you can't be overzealous either. See, you have to have balance. And that's the whole thing about it, right? With everything in life. Balance. Different opinions are fine as well, by the way. I will always support you and all. I know you as well. I'd filter the crap out of it. Filter the crap out of what?
The swamp.
Oh, the swamp. Yeah, you'd have to do more than filter the fucking swamp there, Lee. I mean, you look at some of the fucking idiots that were interacting with you today. Yeah, I mean, look, listen. I'm just going to say to some of you people out there that want to reclaim certain words, you can't reclaim them. Don't be a fucking idiot. And always remember that there are people out there that those words hurt and have caused a lot of trauma to. So the fact that you are arrogant and you dismiss people in a certain community that don't like to hear those words, right, just shows me that you are just pathetic humans. If you can't get why some people in the gay community don't like certain words that have been reclaimed, well then you have no right to speak on behalf of that community, to be quite honest with you. No word was ever reclaimed, okay? And you cannot reclaim words that were ringing in some poor bloke or a woman's ears after they'd gotten the head kicked off them because of their sexual preference. or their sexuality, I should say. Right? Fucking idiots. Needs a transfusion. Needs more than a transfusion anyway, Lee. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to leave you all now. Say goodnight. Look after you. We'll be back on Friday for a bit of a chat with PD. If Lee, obviously it's Friday, if you want to be part of that, Lee, because you haven't been on in a while, I don't know if you're still busy, but if you want to join me and PD as you always did, you're more than welcome to join us on Friday. We'll just have a natter. We don't really have to talk about anything serious. It's still the Christmas period, so come on and we'll have a bit of a natter about whatever you want to talk about. There's no set topic. So Grant, so he said he'd be here. Right, Grant, great. I'll send you the email on Friday. So myself, Lee, and PD will be here, which is on Friday, and we'll have a bit of a chat. We won't, as I said, we won't make a topic heavy. We'll just have a bit of a natter catch up and stuff like that. Anyway, good night, folks. Have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas so far. And I will see you all on Friday. Good night.
All right.
Yeah, if I can only find the trailer, we'd be grand. Oh yeah, before we go, I've got one more thing to say, actually. And this is directed at YouTube. So, Team YouTube, I need to ask you this question because how come you demonetized a Friday Night Contact stream that's using an intro that you guys produced for fair use? Right? And how come only one stream that has this in it, right? Actually, sorry. How come one stream has been targeted when I've used the same intro, the same countdown, right, on previous other streams, but yet you's marked this one? It was interesting that the stream that you's actually cut was the one with me, Lee, and Chris Balchek, right? So I want to know why you's demonetized my fucking stream, right, that uses the same intro on every other fucking stream that I've done, right? And now you have said that the person that owns this intro, which is you, by the way, have decided to take money off me, right? It's one of these trailers that they put up, the countdown trailers that they do for nothing, for fair use, copyright free. Yeah, that's the one that they've actually targeted. So I want to know why you have done that, and only one stream, by the way, when I've used that particular intro that I don't use anymore, by the way, because I changed it up. But that particular intro I was using for nearly 2.5, 3 years.
I'll tell you why.
I want to know why one stream that featured Lee,
let me speak. Yeah, I'll tell you why.
And myself was demonetized. Could you just explain that to me? Because I know it wasn't the intro, but you are making it out that it is the intro, right? So they took 35 seconds. By the way, it's not even the full countdown, the minute countdown, by the way. It's 35 seconds of it that they have now deemed is not monetizable. So they've demonetized the whole stream.
I'll tell you exactly why, Noel. Because the AI they're using is stupid. That's why. It's backwards as they are. There you go.
I am fighting it. Oh, of course I'm fighting that. Of course I am. It's the stream with me, you, and Chris where we were talking about stuff. And I know it's because of that stream, right? It's nothing to do with the intro because I've been using the same intro as I said. So yeah, Team YouTube, I'll tell you, man, you want to fucking stop messing with me, man.
They're just idiots,
right?
That's why.
Anyway, good night, folks. So I got me rant out of the way. See you later. Bye.
See ya.